Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous one. I have a special guest tonight from Lisa Cypress's tribe, and y'all know her. So you about to get familiar with another one of her cousins, uncles, brother, brother-in-law, because we all connected to this thing. We all connected. And this young man that's on tonight, he's connected to that type of thinking, that type of mentality. This is ours. So it's just like me walking up to you and just digging in your pocket and taking whatever I want out of it. These people who are here think they have the right to do that. And like me and the brother was just talking about, I say most. And when I say most, I don't mean 50, 55%. No, are, most of us are helping keep this whole thing going. I don't know if we think because this is it, but the indigenous people of America, really? You think you were put here to let somebody come dog you and you cool with it? There's a thing called karma, and everybody's experienced it. Whatever you do comes back to you. Many of you know and experience this karma. What you do comes back to you. What these invaders have done, you see the world now. You see your world didn't look like this when they got here. Keep that in mind. Acamac Engine, what's up, brother?
Yeah, peace. Appreciate it. Appreciate having me on the panel.
I appreciate you being here. Lisa, where you at?
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
So I have a question. What is a freedman? Because I see a lot of people are mixed up on the word and what it means and who it applies to and blah, blah, blah. Native Americans had Indian slaves. It's confusing. So
I'm
could
gonna
you,
let Thomas say something because he said something cool today about it that I thought I concur.
Thomas, it is all yours.
Well, yeah, it was said that the freedmen, when you check the timeline, they were made. So you got to check the dates. When you check the time it was made around the same time the Dawes Rolls were made. When in Dawes Rolls, a lot of the first one, a lot of people don't know, they got overturned, and there was no reason given. And overturned basically mean they just null and void everybody's application for no reason at all. And so basically, everybody had to submit another application in. And what that was about was it was too many real niggas, obviously, too many real engines that applied. That got and then it got overturned. So they seen that they were playing games, so they came up with the Freedman rules, and that's how it went. It wasn't really. It wasn't initially called like a status. It wasn't really initially a status. It was just really for roles. Later on, people turned it into like this status, like I'm a freedman, and it was never originally like that. It was just basically, something to combat. what they was trying to, you know, leave us out of.
I'm even more confused. You know, I mean, because what's a freedman, and why is everybody so in it? I'm in the freedmen's group, bureau, whatever. What is that? And it seems to me it only causes confusion.
Right. What I think is that the understanding, the level of understanding what free means. Because free actually meant, in its true meaning, is kind of like another word to be sovereign. Like, you know, you're more like you're free to do anything. It's not like they dumbed the word down basically now. You know what I mean? It had more power and standing in the 1600s than it does now. Like it's just like more like a basic word now.
Right.
And but back then it was more like that's why you had the census said free people of the area. That also proves that you wasn't no slave. I mean, so it was just more like a word saying that we're free from your politics, free from your laws, you know. So
Right.
it really applied to Indian. It was basically an Indian title.
Right.
We're free from your taxes. No, we're free from anything you impose on us. Because this is not your country. Not you don't have dominion. You know you don't have any authority.
Right.
Right. So
Right. And see how that makes more sense, because like when you look at it, like, look, I ain't nothing that what you call me. I'm free, right?
Right.
I ain't no title that you give me. See what the Negro, to the African American today, dummies it down to what the European wants them to believe, right? So they
Right.
dummy it down to, I want the slave, you know.
Right.
No, it really is not attached to the slavery. It's attached to the, like he said, the sovereignty, the freedom, the nationhood. That, yeah, I am of the indigenous nation. I am an Indian, right? See,
Right.
because you got to understand, around that time what Thomas brought out, around the time of the Dolls was also the time of the Indian Removal Act, right? And so at that time, it's also the time of what they call freedom cases in the Virginia, the Library of Virginia, the archives. They have the Freedom Acts, but it really shouldn't be called that. They should be called identity acts, identity cases, because what they were doing was saying, I ain't no Negro and I ain't no slave. I am an Indian.
Right.
And
That's
you
what
can
people were
see
doing,
you can
right?
see the same problem here too in Virginia, because when it comes to indigenous people, if you're not from this area and you see a record that says free person of color, you're going to automatically associate them with being black. And that's not the case. Most of the free people of color from Virginia, North Carolina, they were indigenous, but Virginia barred the essentially saying native or indigenous. They barred that out of the census. So plenty of us had to go back to free people of color in our own record. So it's kind of similar to theirs, because I think today when you hear the tribes talking on the freedmen, they always explain it in a case of like, we took the slaves and they became part of the tribe. But actually, many of them have the indigenous blood. It's just that a lot of these five civilized tribes, quote unquote, they tend to use this blood quantum thing. And a lot of the free people, or the freedmen's in their case, a lot of them didn't even, they had indigenous blood, but they hadn't kept the quantum. Like they didn't know, we're 1/6, 1/8,
Well, I
whatever.
mean, it's not even a true
Yeah.
quantum, because they were
No,
straight European. So that whole thing
exactly.
is a fiction.
Right.
That whole quantum, that whole a quantum thing or blood
Right.
quantum,
It's
that's all a
stupid.
fiction. Because
Right.
first of all, the Dawes Rolls is a white man rolls. The
Right.
people that were on the roll, the people that were made chiefs with the Indian Removal Act were all Scots and Irish. So I mean, they were Europeans. So the Native Americans that became the so-called five civilized tribes were headed up. The Negroes were removed. The
Yeah.
indigenous colored Indians were removed and replaced by foreigners. That's what really
right,
happened. So with
and the
that
Indian schools.
case, you had people also that was just indigenous Indians that were being said to be slaves. Oh, you a Negro, or you a slave? No, I ain't no slave, and I ain't no Negro. I am an Indian. So there are cases in
The
which people are
Gibsons.
fighting, cases on
Yeah.
record where people
Right.
are fighting to declare themselves Indian. Now, if you declare yourself Indian and they don't want you to declare yourself Indian, and they're always saying that you're not an Indian based upon your look because they're trying to reclassify the Indians, then what do? You say, well, I'm free, doggone it. You know what I mean? I'm free because you don't want to let me call myself an Indian. I can definitely declare myself to be free. And
Free
so
people of color.
therefore, it's a sidestep, like Thomas said, it's a sidestep to the fact that they wasn't allowing us to say we were Indian. That's what it is. But we were Indian. So the best sidestep of being able to say you're Indian that we could conceive of was to say, I'm free.
Freedman.
I'm a freedman. And so this is the thing. So this is the illogical thing. You're going to bring, you as a free person, you're going to come along as a slave with somebody that's your master. You're going to leave home and all your people with somebody as a slave. No. The other thing that's really stupid about the whole stories that they tell is, how in the world would they even, okay, like I'm removing you as an Indian, right? I'm saying, get out of here, get out. You got to go, get the heck on. And if you make it there alive, good luck to you. So I'm telling you to get out. I'm taking all your stuff. I'm taking your house and all your property. However, I'm going to let you bring a slave. Your most valuable property, I'm going to let you carry that with you. And the slave might die on the way. Oh, hell no. If you really were taking over the people's property and you were there to take over what they had, you would not allow them to carry slaves with them. That whole concept is false and illogical. That would never happen in a real world. So that's why you have to look at this historical narratives that they give us and apply reality and logic to it. That's impossible. Could never happen.
But you know, another thing, the word slave is tricky. The words are tricky. The word slave was just another word for, just the original word for employee. See, just like when I was Pan-African, I used to study the Ethiopian language. In the Ethiopian language, the same word for a worker is the same word for a slave.
Right.
And that's the same thing in Arabic.
Well, either way, the whole concept of this chattel slavery is a construct of fiction, right? They created that whole thing through movies, through narratives, through Uncle Tom's Cabin, through Gone with the Wind, through Daggone Roots. They created this image of what this whole slavery story, because that's not in our family history at all. It's not in our genealogy when we look back. So what we see is indentureship. What we see are jobs. But see, when we say, oh, white folks were slaves, well, you were indentured servants, but you're not slaves, but we're indentured servants, but we are slaves. See how they just tried to put us in a underdog position, and they're constantly trying to put that in our brains that we are forever the oppressed, forever the underdog. That's kind of crazy.
But what's funny, right? It doesn't when you look at it, look what they ended up with. Now that's slavery compared to now. I would want to be in their shoes because they ended up with land, homes, 5 different skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about skills that now that we have to go to trade schools for. I mean, come on, or college.
Right.
They got those skills in just by doing a contract, a 7-year contract.
That's
You
what
know
it
what
was.
I mean?
That's what it was. It was an internship.
Thank you. That's exactly the word. Right. It was more like internships. And like you stated as well, sometimes it was used to pay off debt.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To speed up the debt process.
And then they turned it into debt bondage, which they do that today. They do that today, debt bondage.
With the credit. Mm-hmm.
Credit, and also when you put people in prison and then say you got to pay restitution. You know, so you got this debt. that you didn't have in addition to the criminal record, and then you're supposed to get a job. How is that supposed to happen with a criminal record and you got a debt? So this debt bondage thing is still going on.
Yeah, the war on the Indian, right?
You know, I'm looking at your definition of Freedman, and I can see how they got this whole thing fucked up. Just confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the simplest explanation. What is keeping the African American Black Negro from just thinking beyond what they've been told?
That we have so many people that are compromised, and so many people that are getting a check to keeping us confused, right? We've got so many people doing that. Social media people in politics, people on, on every aspect. We've got people keeping us confused. They weren't allowed to even have that case. That lawyer wasn't able to take the case with the Muscogee Creeks only because they claimed that they were African slaves, right? That's why they even gave it media attention. If they had claimed that they were indigenous people and not African slaves, that story would have never made it to the media. Y'all know that, right? The Muscogee Creek story.
Yeah.
Right, because it puts them in danger. Right, exposes them.
Who are the Muscogee Creek?
Well, hold on. That's two different questions to me. Who are the Muscogee Creek today, or who are the Muscogee Creek yesterday? You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Well, both. Can you give me both of them?
Well, the real Muscogee Creek are not in the nation. No, they've been denied. They've been denied entry. I'm not going to say that they all are not, because I don't know. This is a heavy subject. I know that because I see a lot of it going on. A lot of people are shooting down all the natives. Some natives are actually our cousins. They're mixed. And that's the thing. They don't want to speak about the truth. They just need to be real. You got that look because you are mixed, and it's okay. It's okay. But we continue to lies, it's just going to create more problems, and you help the problem just exist.
Right.
But now I'm not going to say now. But now for the Muskogee that's actively recognized, yeah, those are predominantly Asian based people. And that's the truth.
Okay, nah, not them. Who's the other one?
The Muscogee Creek Indians. They're the Creek. They call the Creek Nation. I believe the Muskogee, really, in reality, Muskogee is a band of the Creek. People don't. That's why I said, people don't know what they really don't know what they speak about. So Muskogee is it's like a band of the Creek. The Creek was a very large nation. I think covered like from Alabama.
Yeah,
covered 2 states.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And that's the direction, time, the way we look at time and the way we view time. Of course, the way we speak. Our body movements towards each other. All that has just been stripped away, man, and replaced with this bullshit that you see now.
But just like we was talking about it, right? With Rwanska, right? We were just talking about it earlier that even though that they took a lot of stuff from us, we come from so many. Our ancestors were so powerful and magical that we still come out magical ourselves. And that's why the whole world want to follow us. You know what I mean? Basketball, football, all the different musicians, the music, different genres. You know what I mean? I could just keep going on and on and on all day, literally. You know what I mean? Sciences and science breakthroughs that our people made, and just so we could just say it literally for hours and talk about all the things, all the creations that our people made, right? And that's another thing. When we talk about all the creations, right? When I was young, remember that it was a poster. It was all this, the African American creation. They said African Americans, right? quote unquote, or that created most of the inventions, right? That's one of the signs right there that should stick out. How many Africans have inventions that the world used? So yeah, especially small things like that, to deprogram yourself. You got to think outside the box. Like,
Well,
wow,
yesterday,
we must be different people,
yesterday we was looking at the Muscogee Creek article, right, and trying to make what they wrote about this thing make sense. Okay, so it
Mm.
said in a landmark decision, the Muscogee Creek Nation Supreme Court ruled that Rhonda Grayson and Jeffrey Kenny, two descendants of people. See, they always don't. We can't be the Indians. We got to be the descendants of people enslaved by. You know what I mean? You got to be a derivative of a derivative. You can never be the real thing of anything. So basically, if you look like us in America, you ain't real nothing. You can't be a real American. You can't be a real African. You can't be a real Indian. You can't be real nothing. Okay, that's the rule for the people that they have that are the indigenous people of America that they have misclassified. Okay, that's the game they play. All right. So they said that they are descendants of people who were once enslaved by the tribe. Okay.
Now, what? I have a
So
question.
tell me, how did that happen? How did that even happen?
Right, so I'm guessing where are they getting they come from enslaved people because they were called freedmen?
Right. Where are they getting this
Wow.
assumption of enslavement? Because
Right,
they don't. I feel like it's because they don't know what a freedman is, and so
right.
they're assuming that they're allowing these foreign people, these Asians, to tell them what they are and what they are not. Okay. Now, mind you, the Asians can't be the people that was in Alabama. You're not the Alabama people. You are Asiatic, are not from Alabama. Okay, you're not.
Alabama, no, it's too hot in Alabama, no.
So these
No.
let's look at the Muscogee Creek. Let me look at that. I'm gonna look at that up real quick while y'all talk. I'm gonna be looking.
So, I noticed that the younger people, they're learning a lot of indigenous stuff, and which is cool, but I'm finding they're getting, everything mixed up, and it's creating a problem. And these people won't even ask questions. They just
Well,
think because what they've heard in whatever 5-minute things they were listening to, and they can just speak. But when they're speaking, they're just confusing everything.
right,
That's
I noticed that too. It's coming from the mixture, the different information coming from different sources, like Moors. There's a lot of Moors out here too.
yeah, yeah,
Man, and they like to spit indigenous stuff a lot and call it Moorish.
yeah. But you know what you do with Moors, and they'll go away. Say, hey man, say, "Did- were you guys called Moors when you were in Moorland, wherever Moorland is, or did somebody call you Moors and you took that name and ran with it?" They leave, man. They leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shit they talk about, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And and it's from all those cats, the Moors, the Nation of Islam, all those foreign ideologies.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the energy wasted on that garbage?
Yeah, I did. I actually did.
Yeah. So
Right.
you
I was a Rasta, which is a form of an Israelite.
right.
Uh, uh, I was a 5%er back in the days for a minute. I was a Muslim for a minute.
So what's the 5%ers about?
At least, I give them credit, right? Because at least they wasn't claiming out of Africa. They was claiming to be out of Asia.
Okay. What?
I give them some credit. You know what I mean? They was being different. You know, it wasn't following the crowd. You know what I mean? So I give them some credit for that.
Hey man, you know, when hip hop first started, this is the NWA. This is NWA and Ford, because that's when shit got fucked up bad. But the sounds, the ideas, the words that brothers are coming up with to confuse the masses is astounding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how is a cat named Biggie Smalls, who bragged about killing women, I mean little girls, how is he a cultural icon? How is his
Oh man.
how is he painted? I mean, all of them, all of them. Because, you know, and I'm saying that adds confusion to these cats going around just saying, we in the Freedman squad.
Right. As
Negro.
I said, it's a lot of confusion. You know, yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, this is a picture. This is a video or picture of the Muscogee Creek Nation. Okay. Okay, so
Wow.
these people claim to be the Muscogee Creek from Alabama, that on the Trail of Tears they brought Africans with them. That where they got African slaves, that okay, the Europeans allowed you to bring your very valuable slaves with you, but you had to leave your house and everything. But you're allowed to bring the most valuable property you got, which could stay and do work for the immigrants that want your territory, that you're gonna get to take that with you. So that's the whole premise of these people being in Oklahoma. That the only reason, see, this is what these Negroes had to claim. These Negroes had to claim that their presence in Oklahoma is as freedmen that was carried here along with these Asians. The Asians were never in Alabama. Those Asians always were up there in Oklahoma or in California or wherever they damn came from, or Asia. Okay, they was in Asia or they was in wherever.
They came after the Chinese slave trade. They was brought here to work on the.
I mean, there's so many times that they came to this country because they made laws that Asians could classify as Native American. So at any point in time, whether it's even the Japanese, when the Japanese internment camps happened, it could be in any point. These people started calling themselves Muscogee Creek, right? So I mean, this is what it is. However, these Negroes are under the misconception that, oh, the way you got there wasn't that you were the Indians that was there as a result of the Trail of Tears. You just were tag along. Tag along. And these people are supposed to be the actual Muscogee Creeks that lived near the hottest part of the country. These people.
Well, that could easily be debunked due to the Mississippian artifacts that was found. The Mississippi artifacts were Negroes. Yeah.
It could be debunked by this don't make no doggone sense. That if you got any common sense or any uncommon sense, this makes no sense. So this is the thing. What we have to understand is that the problem with the Negro, or I don't even say the Negro, the problem with the African American is that they always are willing to bow, bend, stoop, or compromise themselves for any reason. Because just because they want to be in this organization, which is a compromise within itself. You want to be a part of the Muscogee Creek, they don't want you. And why are you trying to be part of an organization that is controlled by the government and they can take or give away anything they want to because they made those people?
That was my question.
They don't understand. See the fact of it, they ask for things and they don't even understand what they asking for. They calling themselves stuff and they don't understand what they're calling themselves. That's the problem. And if you try to say anything, don't tell me what I am. I lived there. I grew up in Oklahoma. My grandmama, my granddaddy, they called themselves freedmen. Okay, they call themselves freedmen, but baby, you don't understand what that is, honey's child. You just don't understand. That's the problem. It's not what your grandparents said is wrong. It's the fact that what they call themselves and what it is, you don't understand what it is. They were standing on facts. You're standing on fiction. You let the daggone Europeans remix what your grandparents told you, and you believe it.
What do you think that just believing it to go along, to get along with it? I know that's a compromise, but is something else there?
You don't want to fight.
Hey, I think, matter of fact,
you actually think that they're more powerful than you, but when they are not. That's the fact that you don't believe in you is at the core of all this. Right. That you believe your best come up is to compromise, and your only way to come up is to compromise. That's the tragedy of all of it. And they don't want to sacrifice. That's right, Bad Saint. That's right. That's why he got the damn tool and shit. That's why she got the tool and shit. Because that's right.
So a freedman, so everybody make sure you have this. Elisa, could you explain what a freedman is again? Because that's the best definition I heard, and it makes sense. And the way people were back then, do you think that some of that spirit still carries forth to today?
You know what? Let me tell you something. To think of what these people did back in the day, we ain't shit compared to them. Okay, we are not shit compared. Because let's think about what they did. Like if you look in the Virginia archive or Virginia library, and you look at those freedom suits, these people had the audacity to say, "Look, you ain't gonna tell me I'm a damn you ain't gonna call me that.
Right.
You ain't calling me no damn slave or Negro. I'm an Indian, right?"
And they were pro-slaves. They were all pro-slaves.
How many people today go to court to declare that who they are? Who's really doing that? Right. Now these people are declaring that there's something that is a descendant. What is fuck is that?
Right.
That's a joke. Because they don't even know really what they are. They're allowing people to call them a derivative of a derivative. That's what they're fighting to be. A derivative of a derivative that want to have benefits. It looks crazy when you think about it. Because the way they are classifying themselves, you ain't got a right for shit. So I can understand why the Muscogee Asians deny you, because you a derivative of a derivative. What the hell is that?
Oh my God.
You're not even classifying yourself according to what you really are, because you haven't given it any thought. And this woman got a whole museum on being freedmen. And I'm like, huh? She probably got government funded because she said that they were from Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These are compromised people. Why are they giving light now? Why would they ever give media attention and a lawyer? because it's a misinformation. And what does it have people doing? I'm a Freedman. Yeah, I'm a Freedman. I want my reparations. You know, it's got people rallying around calling themselves a Freedman like they don't know what it means. So it's all a misdirection. She's being paid to misdirect. You don't get grant money for a whole museum when you're doing something that is actually going to benefit people in a real way and actually become something that is going to change the planet. You don't get benefits for that. You get what I get. You get thrown with criminal charges, and you get shut down when you do real shit. Okay, you don't get daggone media attention. You get she's a criminal. That's what they put in the media when you're doing things that are going to impact people and change the damn whole narrative. That's what happens. So the reason they're in the media, the reason they got a nice corny lawyer to stand in front of them is because what they're doing is a psyops.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
They had what's her name? Maxine Waters doing fake daggone all these stupid congressional hearings. Why? And I said to Maxine, I sent her an email. Why aren't you discussing what a Freedman is? How can you argue with these Asiatic Native Americans and not first establish who they are?
All they do is give these cats a check. That's all it takes, huh?
That's all it takes. A little check, and we are on and popping. But guess what? For that check, you risk your life. Their life belongs to these damn entities. These demonic entities own them. That's why when we see people like people stars and stuff, dying and stuff, being offed, his life not his. When he wanted to be on television and be on the Bill Cosby show with no damn talent, because honey, no, these people don't have no super talents, but yet they get these super damn jobs. Why? Because they have signed contracts and they are owned by the powers that be. They can off these people anytime they want to. They're property. Okay, so these people that want to be these Muscogee Creeks derivatives, they're property. They're signing up to be property, and they are property. The whole show is a whole propaganda show. But we don't understand that. So we aspire to be, oh, that's a win, y'all. You don't even know what a win is. What is a yeah, that's a win. Is it a win, really? What are they really winning? Do you understand what these nations are like? Do you understand that the funding that they get can be taken away in an instant? Actually, I've seen it in my own real life. I've sat in shoulder to shoulder with people that are leading nations that got millions of dollars paid to them and then had to pay shit back in the hundreds of thousands. Because why? Because the government said you didn't meet the requirements. You didn't do what you said, or you whatever reason they want to give you to take the money back, they can take it back. And then you done already spent that money. What the hell do you do? How do you give it? Now you in debt. That's the reality of being the bottom. That's the reality of asking to be their bottom B. That's what the reality is. You ask to be their bottom B, they're going to treat you just like that, baby. They're going to treat you like that. But see, our ancestors, like you said, I'll get back to what you said. What did they do? They were like, oh, I'm free, mofo. You don't want to let me call me an Indian, I'm free. That's what I am. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm a free man. Okay? You might not want to call me a Creek, but I'm a free man. And the Creek Nation was my nation, right?
Right.
But they wouldn't let them say that. And so as time went on, they stopped saying it. Oh, we're Freemen, right? But yeah, and we are with the Creek. They taught that to the girl who did the museum. But did she understand what her ancestors told her? They didn't tell her that she was affiliated with the Creek for no reason. You weren't a slave to the Creek. That don't even make no sense, girl. That's you embarrassing. And guess what? half of them daggone records that talk about slave records, that's family in the damn record. It's the wife listed as on a slave. That shit is fake. It's the wife and kid listed as working on the farm. Anybody that does real genealogy sees that. And then you might have some spare workers there on the end, right? But you have all your wife listed, your kids listed, and then a couple of extra hands might be helping you on the farm. But it's you. And it's you farming. And they want you to think that they was here doing all this stuff. They weren't here doing all this stuff. See, if they was here doing all that stuff in a big way, there'd still be a lot of them doing it. But they're not. They just learned, most of the stuff they learned after the turn of the century from us. Fishing, farming, we taught them. Our grandparents taught them. They act like they invented the stuff. Herbology, all that stuff they learned from our people. Cooking, all that they learned.
Building boats, canoes.
All of that they learned from us.
And we love to say that we from Africa.
I'm glad you're entertained. Yes. We love to say that. We love to be everything else, right? We got to be everything else.
Yeah.
So the Muscogee Creek, I'm not trying to be mean because, you know, I love them. They look happy and all that. They look proud and stuff. But look at what it said. Descendants of people enslaved by the tribe. That sounds pitiful. See, this is the thing. It sounds pitiful. It is pitiful. And it would be okay if it was true. But it is not even possibly true. It's not even possibly true. Because those people didn't have Africans imported to daggone Oklahoma. That didn't happen. They did not. And those people aren't the people that was in Alabama. They are not. So you got to find the truth in the lies. You got to find the truth in the lies. And there's too many lies here.
So what is their status now, those people?
So this proud Miss Grayson is the founder and director of the Oklahoma Indian Territorial Museum of Black Freedman History. Well, if anybody who ever should know what a freedman is, somebody with a museum of that long title should be the one that knows. She should knoweth this. She should be the knoweth this person that beeth this, right? But obviously, either they are just willing to compromise to the point of that's disgusting, or she don't know. But she might know. But because like we were discussing, we know people who know that they're the Indians, but they sit up there and they still want to be will put out there that they African Indians. They still do that. Why? Because they want to be the get along gang Indians, right? They figure they get more by using some lies to smooth the gears of progress. But you don't get nothing real when you use lies, and you don't get nothing real when you compromise with people that are demons. She said they can trace their lineage back to people who are on the Dawes Rolls, a list that identifies people from Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, Muscogee Creek, and Seminole tribes. Grayson and Kennedy's ancestors are also listed on the Freedman roll, but not on the Muscogee rolls. They're on the Dawes rolls, but not on the Muscogee. What the fuck is a Muscogee roll? As if that's existed since 1880. They damn liars. Them Muskogees are full of shit. They are anyway. Let me stop.
Sylvia Love Jones got a question. So should they denounce the enrollment in the tribe, or what's the?
I mean, they just got their citizenship. They're begging to be this. They're begging to be this. this is my question. Why are you begging to be something that you don't need to be begging to be? We don't understand the power of us actually saying, you know what? We are the real Muscogee Creek. We're organizing as that. And this is our clan. And we want everything that's owed to us because we don't know who those imposters are.
Right.
That's the power move. This is a very expensive, weak move. I believe the government is paying the lawyer. I believe this is all, like I said, a psyops that's federally funded because you're getting,
you know what?
you're getting citizenship to what? Like, really? Like, what? So for me, I'm not paying a lawyer. I'm pro se. I don't have a lawyer that I'm paying all this money for years because they've been litigating since 2019. So how does this work? This doesn't. The discrepancy is how the Tribal Citizen Board previously justified Grayson and Kennedy's applications. They say they're not on the Muscogee Creek rolls. Their people are on the Dawes rolls and they're Freedman. They got double confirmation that they Indians. Dawes rolls, which is, questionable in some ways, and also they Freedmen. Okay. So, but they don't really understand. They think of Freedman as an African slave. So they don't really know. They're not able to assert themselves as Indian because they are under the misinformation of whatever the Caucasians are teaching. Okay. Exactly, bad saying they work for the state.
Okay, here's my question. Choctaw, Creek, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Seminole. If we were called savages back then, how did, with all the tribes and stuff back then, how did those tribes get to be patted on the head?
What you say? Say it again?
Out of all the tribes that are in the Americas, how did these 5 tribes get picked out? Did their location have something to do with it? How, and since we were all called savages back then and they were trying to come in on the land and move the land, and the best Indian is a dead Indian, blah, blah, blah. Why did those tribes stand out?
Because they meshed in more with the European. Those are the ones.
It's not even just that, because they removed the Indian leaders, so that it didn't even meshing, because they removed the Negro chiefs, excuse me, and they got like what's his name, Ross, what's his name,
Ross.
John Ross. Thank you. They got John Ross to head up the Cherokee. So I mean, I think your idea of it being strategic as far as areas of the country is probably very much on point with landmass more so than anything. Like, because the Cherokee is not the original name. That's not even a real name. That's not that's not the real name of the people. So I mean, it's all contrived. So they remove folks, they replace them with Europeans. It's everything they do. They tell you you're not it, we're it. They do it to take the land. Everything they do is about taking the resources and the land that's here.
Right. You know what? I think this this Freedman thing is coming about. I think because they're seeing the rise of our people waking up. And they want to have a reason to justify why our people are claiming Indian.
And they want to have a reason to justify it and a sidestep. So if they can herd a bunch of African Americans into freedmen rather than true American Indian, then that's a real That's a real diminished claim
Right.
from being a real Indian. Like you don't, and so even AI is lying now. So I was on a live on TikTok and AI was saying, oh, Freedman is the highest status. You get all your money, you get all, and I was like, this AI is lying. This AI is lying. Like, and I know AI lies, but damn. So it had the people in the live all energized, like Freedman. Oh, I can do a Freedman claim tomorrow. What Freedman? Oh, we got all our money saved aside for us. Freedman is the highest status in the country. You know, that whole thing.
Hit
So
the lottery.
energy around this whole Freedman thing, but it's to sideline the whole avalanche of people that are learning that they're Indian. That's what it is. It's to control the avalanche of people that's running to understand their Indian identity.
Right.
Right. So they come up with these stories. They'll be like, no, you're not really the Indian. And when they say descendants, right? And descendants also is another trick word, right?
Mm-hmm.
That implies that you're mixed with Indians.
Right. Because why would these other folks, these unmelanated people, why would they be the full-blooded people? How are you the full-blooded? You the full-blooded right here. You the real ones, right? This one right here.
But y'all the descendants.
But the other ones are descendants of. Oh, that's right, because they mixed with African. That's what make them look like that. But the real ones look like this, and the real ones come from Alabama, and they look like this. But you mix with African. You an African descendant. You were part descendant of it. See, that's how they. Why are they? And we still are gonna fall for that when we can verify clearly that is a falsehood today.
And we don't say nothing. Nothing. All right, we have Naomi with us. Is Naomi still here?
Got a couple of people. She's up in there. Is Carrie up there? Yeah, Carrie and Naomi. We got two other people.
What's going on, Carrie? Can't hear you.
His mic's open.
Hey, yeah, this is Carrie from Louisiana.
Oh,
Hey,
Carrie. Hi,
Carrie. Hey, brother. Hey, sisters.
Hey.
I caught y'all mid-stream. Yeah, I caught the screen. Caught y'all.
Hello?
Hey, wait, I have a delay.
Oh, okay. Go on and talk.
Let's fix it.
Gary?
Yes.
My daughter's trying to fix my mic. Give me a second.
Okay. Hey,
Chiefess.
So I learned that this is actually breaking news. Cobb County Superior Court clerk charged with destroying public records.
What? And here in Atlanta? In DeKalb?
Yes. In Cobb County in Georgia.
In Cobb County? Oh.
Yeah, a clerk has been indicted today, either today or this week.
These court clerks in these counties all over the country, the corruption is really out of control in these courts, okay? We don't have no clue how bad it is, but I'm gonna let y'all know the criminals are in the courthouse for real. For real. Yeah, I think Penny sent me that link. Or was it you? No, it was you.
Mm-hmm.
So the courts are basically corporations like McDonald's and Burger King, right?
Oh, and it's a sister. That's the one. Is that her?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shoot, the one in the cab going down too. She might as well just step on down because the corruption is real. And let me send my story in, please. Let me get on them daggone news about this stuff because the corruption they doing up in with my records. Oh, and that they're hiding this stuff. They just better come clean. Is this breaking news? This is from today.
Let me see. 7 hours ago.
Oh, yes, for the day. Oh, good. Yes, Lord. Woo-hoo.
If they're doing
Ancestors
that
are
in
working. Let
Cobb
me
and
tell you,
Marietta,
y'all.
you think they're not gonna go after everybody else? Come on
Y'all,
now.
let me tell you something. The ancestors are working. They are
Mm.
coming after these demons with daggone daggers. These people are getting blown away. Like you think you need to go to war? No, baby. No, baby. All you need is to stand up. The ancestors got you. Just stand up and fight instead of just ignoring this stuff. And the ancestors got the rest of the damn work. They got it. They are working it, you know, and thanks to my spiritual leaders, thank you. But Imani and Naomi, but definitely, you know, they got you. This is these demons are being handled. They're being handled. Like, I can't even tell y'all. Like, the IRS is coming for the people that got me arrested. The court clerks that are trying to daggone take my property into cab. They're going to get cut down shortly because their fraud is all in the courts. It's all reported. I've sent it all over the place, and now Cobb County is getting getting charged. Oh yeah. This is everybody's about to go down. But see, why do these African Americans get involved with these things? Why do we compromise ourselves in these ways? Like, yo,
They black.
you can't win. You first of all, if they don't get you because you belong to them, you're gonna go down. They don't protect you like they ain't protecting you. Period. When it comes down to somebody taking a fall, your ass ain't getting protected. Know that. Okay. I don't understand why all these centuries we can't understand that. You still got your Marcus Garvey's. Marcus Garvey. People still big up him like he's a hero. He was put up to daggone to mislead and drag the people off of their homeland. And what happened to him when he didn't get the job done? They locked him up. Did he go to Africa? Hell no. As soon as he got free, they took him to Jamaica. He didn't want to stay in no damn Jamaica. He went straight back to England. So see, these people, they don't win. There's so many examples of it. They sacrifice their sense of dignity, their sense of honor, their sense of ethics to get a little ahead, get a little bit of something, and they end up tumbling all the way down.
Just let me smell it.
I want a little bit of something. I just want to feel like I'm just like them for a little bit. Y'all ain't like I am. I'm a special African American. You ain't like me. That's what they feel like. I mean, shoot, I get you, sis. You are the court clerk. You making over five. See, they get their salaries $500,000 a year, but the kickbacks from the real estate corps and these law firms, they making over $2 million, and that ain't tax, baby. Okay, they making like close to $2 million or more, and that ain't tax.
Was the court one of us?
Yeah.
Or what? Oh wow. So again, you asked the question earlier about why they doing it. We have to realize even some of these groups that you know, like the Muskogee, and I'm not going to say just them, but some of these other groups are traders. They're Trojan horses.
Right.
We gotta, and I'm not going to say the whole group. That's like saying, you know, um, there are some people that we've been infiltrated. Let me just say that. So we do have some people in our groups that are Trojan horses. And we also have to remember that the Europeans, what they was doing, if you watch this movie, Flower of the what was it, the Silver Moon or whatever it was? Y'all know the movie I'm talking about? Did y'all see that movie?
Yeah.
I mean, well, they telling us in plain English that they were marrying into our group to steal land, you know, to steal the honor of our children, and then turn the children against the tribe.
Right.
So we have a lot of that going on too. So we have to realize that we have a bunch of Trojan horses in there, you know, in some of these groups that was borderline, some of these borderline in some of these states, they were just infiltrated. They took the bite. A lot of the tribes in Alabama and Mississippi, you know, that's where the French and the European main places where some of the French and the English went. And they went there to marry, you know, to steal. And then one last thing I'll mention, then I'm gonna get off. The Asians. I mean, I know, and I came in late. I know y'all mentioned something about the how the current quote unquote supposed to be indigenous people here are all Asian, and when they go, they're not supposed to do DNA tests. I don't know if y'all knew that. They're not supposed to go get these little fake DNA tests that people get, the 23s and me's and stuff like that, because all those tests are telling them that they're half European and half Asian.
Right.
And the reason why some of that is happening is because in the 1500s and before that, the Spaniards had a trade called the Millennium Galleon trade, where they were actually forcing Philippine sailors, not women, but Philippine sailors, to come to Acapulco, and they would bring those people from Acapulco into America, across Louisiana into Natchez, Louisiana, and that through the Gulf Coast and back out to the Atlantic Ocean. And they was washing, I call it, they washing us like diamonds. So they were washing.
Echo. You might want to come closer to your mic or something. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they was
turn off your phone or something. But
okay, and that's what it was doing earlier. My daughter right here. You know how to turn it off, boo? Oh, turn off YouTube. Maybe if I turn off YouTube.
Yeah. That's
turn YouTube off. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm not sure how much did you hear or what you was hearing. But in that Pacific slave trade, it was also a part of the Silk Road. You know, the Asian Silk Road. Well, anyway, that trade actually went into the Pacific Ocean, across, like I said, up California, down the coast into Acapulco, through Louisiana and Natchez, Mississippi, Natchez, Louisiana. They actually had a trading post there where the Spaniard would bring Philippine men there, and they were in ways forced to marry us, okay, Native Americans, okay. So, and we all know the Spanish is known for their passe blanc, which is washing themselves in with the Native Americans, right? You know, they were doing stuff like that too. So all I'm saying is these people are slick, and they was doing stuff to us that we didn't even recognize was going on. They was trying to wash us so that they can steal, and that was just one way they were doing it. And I feel, you know, some of these Asian groups, I mean, again, Trojan horses. They bought into to it. They bought into, and they know that they were going to manipulate us, and that we were being mistreated, and that they were going to take the bag and pretend that they were going to be Native Americans, and we were going to get ousted at the end of the day. So, and it even shows it in maps. I don't know if y'all look at cartography, but if you go look at some of these maps from the 1400s, from different places, it'll show only black, well, I'm saying black, but only melanated people in the background being slaves, no Asians. There's not one Asian looking person nowhere on these maps, and none of the explorers are saying that they saw Asian looking people. They're only seeing black people that they're describing as Ethiopian looking, or people who said they never saw a white man before. And if you're Asian, there's nowhere in the world that you're going to say you never saw a white man, because you almost look in that same color. So we know that they're lying about that as well. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to be quiet and let the show continue. But as far as those Asians, that's where they came from. Came right over with the Spaniards in that Gillian trade in the 1500s, and they were, if you go look up now, even if you Google Asians that was forced to marry Indians, you're gonna see it on there. Okay, they were forced to marry us and passe blanc the Indians. Okay, that
Yeah,
was a part of it
see,
too.
there's lots of new immigration of Asian. That's why they look
That
more
too.
Asian now than
Right.
they're going Sitting Bull. They look more
Yeah.
Asian now than they're going Geronimo, because there was all kinds of new influxes of Asian blood enter the communities with the railroad building, with the the gold rush, with even like I said, the Japanese internment.
Yep.
So a lot of, all these people were allowed as a I guess a protection to call themselves Native American.
Well, they paid them.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why they gave them that last little, they're not calling it reparations, but that's why they gave the Asian, quote unquote, this hate crime thing again, I think, is because they came to them, I believe, the government, and said, look, now, this thing is getting hot. Okay, these people is waking up to realize we done lied to them. We tried to take the bullet for y'all with this thing, but y'all have to pay us. If not, we're gonna start talking. And I think they say, oh, okay, give them a crime hate deal.
Yeah,
and
but
give them more money.
my thing is that was repaired because of the CVID. The CVID, they were being blamed for that, right? It came from China. So they actually anticipated that there would be some hate crime because they blamed it on Asia. But see, no real hate crime happened, so they had to put out fake videos of people hitting on Asians, and then but the money was already allocated. It was allocated when they planned the disease. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's my theory on that. That payment was already set up with the fact that they said, where's the source going to be? Oh, it's Asia. Okay, so how about people being mean to us because they think they gave us this? They think we gave them the disease. Okay, well, we got money for that. If they start being mean to folks because of the disease, we got payment for you. See what I'm saying? That to me was part of the whole plan of the pandemic.
The bottom line is they all conspiring against us. That's just, I mean, all of them, the Asians, the Europeans, the Africans, all of them are against us. And we just need to wake up to realize, look, these people are against us. We need to kind of get together some kind of way.
Right.
Let bygones be bygones. Number one, learn your history, learn your family history, and get into some old books. The libraries are still open. While they're open, go in there and go find some of these old books, because that's what I'll do. Go find some of these old books with this material in there with the explorers telling you that we were the only ones here with them. It was Black people and Europeans. And then the Philippines or Asians that they brought in as workers, of those Gillian workers, But in the beginning, it was just us and them. Okay. And it wasn't many of them. According to Benjamin Franklin and the rest of them, the world is full of tawny, swarthy, people, and the Europeans are small. Okay. Why keep populating America when they already there? We need the influx of Europeans. So you got Benjamin Franklin and the rest of them trying to tell us in plain English, but we keep wanting to repeat this foolishness that we learned in school. And it was just straight garbage. 20 years of trying to get that stuff out your system, 12 years of trying to get the American education out your system. But they telling us in so many words that they lying.
Yeah.
We just gotta wake up. Wake up. It's not true. Okay. I know you learned it for 12 years, but you learned from your enemy. We let our enemy teach us for 12 years.
Yep.
And why would he teach us something that's gonna be beneficial? That's crazy. And the ones that want to just, and I'm not gonna say we do have some African ancestry. I don't know what we could do about the people who just want to
I don't believe in any African ancestry, because there's no evidence of no Africans coming into Virginia. There's no evidence there. That's a whole
Right.
lie. There's no 1619. That's a whole
Nope.
daggone made up story. There's
Right,
no
right.
daggone that whole white. That's a whole fiction. Because
Well,
in the colonial records, there is no record of no 20-odd Negroes or nothing coming in. That was
they lie.
so they made that shit up. Okay.
Right.
So this is
Yep.
the thing. They have records of people coming in for Europe. They got records of orphans coming in, but they don't have
Yep.
records of any Negroes, Africans, or colored people coming in. Let's be very clear about that. So,
Right.
so the fact remains also that Africa was not explored. They didn't really divide that thing up and look at that place until after the, if you look at maps, not
1800.
until after the day going Berlin conference.
You're right about that.
After they actually found a treatment for malaria, okay, quinine. So
Right.
basically, no,
Lying.
Africa was an unknown factor. You're gonna bring people over with malaria.
Right.
You're gonna bring people over with no interpreters. Where are the African interpreters?
Right.
There's no
Now,
record of that.
Right. And to be honest, I read one time in a book what they now watch this now. What they did do, they were here in America, like you said, by far. I mean, that's it. But what they were doing was taking Indians or taking us from America and bringing us over to Spain. And what they also was doing was putting people on those islands in the coast of Africa, like I think I can't remember one of, was it Tome or something like that? They were putting people on those islands with the crocodiles and all that other stuff because it was a quote unquote prison, like Alcatraz and all that. They was putting Indians on those islands, and to be fair, they also was putting the Hebrews there as well during the Spanish Inquisition. So they was putting all those people there. And my thing again, they have a history look like of washing people who look alike or washing groups that they in military conflict with. And so they could have, and this me just speculating, maybe they washed some of those Indians with the people that they were getting from the Spanish Inquisition, that they were kicking out of Spain.
No, let me tell you something. That Europe was so friggin' screwed up during that time and so backwards. They couldn't wash their asses. They had no money. They were starving. They
were poor.
Themselves. They were ignorant. They were dirty. They were dying. They had 3 plagues. There are no plagues in America. Okay,
that's
except
right.
the ones that they created recently. So no, they didn't have the wherewithal to do shit. And definitely they didn't have the money to go to Africa and import people. They could barely get over here themselves. And when they got over here, they were starving. So nothing that they teach us makes sense. It's all
right, because if they had money, right? Let me say something. Because they had money, right? They wouldn't be coming here looking for business. So if you look at all the Virginia records, they all that was their prime reason here to do business.
Right.
So because they didn't have the commodities that our country had, and they wanted in on the new commerce.
Right. That's true. And all this junk is about trade and money, export, using people, money, slaves. I mean, the whole thing is just a rigged game. The same economy and bull crap they talking about now is the same stuff they was doing back then. It was all a big old hustle on how to use people to make money, a trade game. And that's why I said China is in on this too. You know, India is in on it too. They all in a big the
whole world conglomerate, right?
Against us, and that's just the way it's been based on my reading, and that's what they still doing now. But we're gonna have to wake up though and just say, okay, look, enough. If you didn't make your money while we were sitting over here just letting y'all do it, if you hadn't made your money in 500, 2,000, whatever years, baby, you ain't gonna make it. It's too late now. Okay, and we sick and tired of it. If you hadn't made your money off our backs, will you feel good? Okay, if you don't feel kingly yet, ain't nothing we can do about it. But I tell you one thing, we through with this. Okay, it ain't our fault that we laid down and died for thousands of years so y'all can make y'all little money. okay, and you're not satisfied, it's over with, boo. Okay, the game is up. Okay, we're not gonna keep doing this. Okay, and making ourselves, the bottom, the rug, and y'all keep wiping y'all foot on us. No, enough is enough, and that's where we are now. Okay,
I
we
mean,
gave them a chance,
exactly.
and
And no,
it's over.
in this conversation, we've said nothing about anybody not being the same as really. This is Ashley River. I had to put her in timeout because this is the thing. This is not this conversation, and you're not going to turn this live into something that is not. It's not a racial live. It's about his story, and the live is really talking about Freedman and us not knowing who we are. So for you to sit up there and worry about what are you talking about? Everybody, look, American Indians are the most loving
Come on,
people. That's why all these daggone suckers are over here, because we're suckers, and we
love.
kiss anybody in the face, and we'll give anybody a hand, and we'll let anybody have an advantage over us. So no, this is not about that, and it's not that we don't like all people, because we love all people. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes you need to stand up for what is yours, and that doesn't mean anything against anyone else. It means stand up for what is yours, just the way they stand up for what's not theirs. This is the way they take what's not theirs. We need to stand up for it. What is ours, not taking away from anyone else like they do, but take what is ours.
And that's the piece I don't think they understand. I don't think they understand that. Look, we love. I mean, we came here loving. We are love. Okay.
Right.
If we weren't so loving, you wouldn't be able to do what you've been doing to us for all these years. Okay. We the definition of love. Okay. So what we trying to say, like you said just a minute ago, we're tired now. Okay. We like that old grandma, Medea. Okay. Now go sit down somewhere now. Okay. Enough is enough. And that's where we at. And do that mean we want to fight y'all? No. What we're saying is we tired of you doing what you're doing.
We have to stand up for ourselves. No one else is going to do it. Everyone else is trying to tell us that we are descendants of, derivative of, not this. The whole world's trying to tell us what we are and what we are not. It is time for us to stand up and give them the definitions and give them the rules of play and the rules of engagement. And that's the way the landlord should operate. And if you don't know you're the landlord, then step aside. But if you're a landlord and you understand your place on the planet, then you need to assume your position. That's all this is. Assuming
not somebody gonna take it like they've been doing.
Ain't nobody gonna give you the proper position. You have to assume the proper position. That's what this is about. It's nothing, no harm meant. It doesn't mean I don't have love for white people and I don't have friends that I care deeply for and have been very close to, and I would probably take their side over anybody else. But that doesn't mean that can't exist. That does exist. But the reality is that either you are on the side of the true soul beings here, or you're not. And if you're a demon, then we don't have a place for demons. That's just it. If you're a predator, there's no room for predators. Sorry, you got to go. And yes, Marcus Garvey was a predator and he wasn't American. Because if he was American, he would have died in America. Okay? He wouldn't have ran out to damn Britain. Like, what is that about? You trying to get everybody to go to Africa and you not trying to be in Africa. He's even daggone Carey already, the indigenous one. He debunked him being American. Just how you see how his writing is. He was not American. Okay? Yeah, these people cosplay as us all the time and try to direct us on who we should be and where we should go. He was an agent for the United States Corporation, as are a lot of entities that we deal with.
And see, how you find out that information is you simply got to think about things that they tell you. Here's another one. Just like Garvey, this goes back a little further than Garvey, but what's the cat name? W.E.B. Du Bois, Souls of Black Folks. How come he's buried in South Africa?
Right. As pale as that bro was.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
He
So
took
this
he took that whole psych ops real far, okay?
right.
Mm-hmm.
But they
And that's
paid
all
him. He was paid well.
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 We got a
So
lot of Trojan horses, boy, I tell you.
right,
Mhm.
but where the problem comes in is that we think these dudes are cool in the gang.
Mm-hmm.
We follow these cats. They have a group today dedicated to Marcus Garvey.
Mm-mm-mm.
Right.
All this energy going to that,
Mm-hmm.
and we won't even take a look at our damn self.
Some of our cousins are in Liberia to this day, confused and weird because of Marcus Garvey. Some of our cousins are in, Sierra Leone because of Paul Cuffey and a bunch of other daggone Prince Hall and a bunch of other people that misguided us. Okay. So, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, we got to understand it. When you see these people, let's be able to identify them. It's like we got to show our children how to identify our grandchildren. We got to be able to identify these traders, on site. Like, that's what that is. Avoid that. We got to avoid it, and we got to be able to warn the family, warn the nation about these people, these entities that are here to betray us.
And all you have to do is ask them questions. Just ask them questions that they gonna mess it up right there. Have belief in yourself. Look at yourself. You're just as good as anybody else on the planet.
Oh,
Like,
do we have room on the panel?
you said what?
Somebody said she wished Love Life said she wished we had room. Do we have room? We got room, don't we?
Yeah.
We can add another person. Yeah, we can. I think we got room. I mean,
Yeah.
come up.
You could help us out if you got rid of that Cobb County chick.
Oh, I just feel the joy of these people coming down. It's like, it's just
Is that a dude?
it's a woman.
Okay, but okay, isn't that taking a bit overhead? You see how they done trans the whole world into that? What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Confusion, just more confusion, or depopulation agenda?
Both.
Yep. All of it. Anything that they can depopulate us, especially us. But see, it's so funny. Every time they take a bomb and they throw it out there at us, they always get all the worst of it. They always end up with the worst of it, always aimed at the Indians, but they end up taking the damn brunt,
And that's the scary thing about the scary thing about them is they don't mind destroying their own to destroy us. That's how wicked they are.
They don't care. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like you'll destroy your own children, your own community, your own seed in order to hurt us. And what they fail to realize, and I don't know why, we good. No matter what y'all throw at us, we 100 times strong with it. All right? We're going to come out on top any which the drugs. Okay? Ronald Reagan, them throwing all them drugs in the community. Yeah, we took a hit, but guess what? But now look at you and your children. Now y'all on crystal meth, trying to hang out with us. You ain't gonna beat us. But they don't care. They'll take them out.
But that's a sign of a true savage, a true beast. That's a true beast, right? That is a true monster. Because the fact that you will sacrifice your young to destroy your enemy. Seriously. Like, you will literally sacrifice your young to destroy your, and they're not, and we're not even an enemy, right? Because we don't
No,
even
because
know we're at war. Because the
Right.
majority
Yeah,
of
yeah.
us are trying to be friends. We trying to have love. We're not, we don't even know we're at war. So it's not even like we're an enemy. We're an enemy in their minds, but we're
Right.
not an enemy. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're not an
Yeah.
adversary, right? We're not fighting them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we're just we are somebody that they are trying to eliminate. But in order to eliminate us, they're willing to throw their young out to eliminate us from being. And then the crazy thing is, who you got to enjoy all this stuff you stole now that you done destroyed your own young?
It's about the power for them. It's almost demonic. It's straight demonic. It's all about it. Yeah, it's about and I learned something too. All this time, they always want to say that we about voodoo, which we ain't. We about ancestry worship and all this other kind of stuff. And when you really sit down and think about it, it's really them.
Well, they take everything that they can steal from us, and then they putrefy it because it's not of them. So what they do is they turn it into something horrific, right? They take what we do as a form of elevation, as a form of edification. They take that and turn it into something putrid, and they turn it into something evil, right? Because they have no business utilizing what is not of them, right? They have no business.
Right. You're right. I love it. I love it. Look, I'm reading this book right now, The Story of Louisiana. Let me see what the title right date is on this one. And look, I'm doing my daughter hair, child. We in Louisiana, we still use hair grease. And I got grease everywhere.
Nothing
When
wrong
I
with grease.
when I take this book back to the library, they're gonna be like, what happened to this? But anyway, the first title rate was
666 is magical for us. That's right, Sylvia.
right. Look, I told somebody that something else we need to get over too. And from these books I've been reading, one of the things that one of the explorers was when they was describing us here, they basically said that our hair was low and tucked back. Okay. Now I told somebody, I said, look, for years, I've been doing my hair, my grandma, everybody hair that we know of. All we need is some water and some grease. And I slick your hair down so slick, somebody think you had a perm on there.
Right.
Okay. I said, so we need to get over this whole thing about us having these whole Asian features and some of us may have, but this whole thing, but we have to keep remembering that they whitewashed this with, like I said, Asians and Europeans. But anybody know, if you got some water and some grease, our hair about to be straight. Okay. That's what we used before jail. Okay. But anyway, I'm reading this book. Okay. So one of the things that we're saying, one of the things that I kind of highlighted in this book is everywhere when the Europeans, they were talking about all the different explorers from after Columbus, who was, prowling around stealing, but every group of a tribe that they went into, that they kept saying that the natives did not, they never saw white people before, the white man. So that kind of had me think like, okay, if they never saw white people, then what are these people actually looking like? What are they using as a comparison? But the second thing that caught my attention too was that the Indians did not live in
You're fading.
Oh, I'm sorry. That the Indians did not live in teepees, which I thought they did based on what we learned in school. For the most part,
there's the Native Americans that are nomadic, and then there's the American Indians that had cities and towns. So there's a difference. There's a difference in how we live and how those people that was killing buffalo on the plains were. They had and the tents come from Siberia, and their clothes and the jingle dancing. All that is a Siberian thing.
Right. So in Louisiana, when let me see, one of the first explorers, but he was amazed. He said when he walked into the first of all, he had to one of the explorers, his name was Lemoyne. What they did with him, the Jesuit priests in Canada, they what they trained him. So they took him from France, brought him over to Canada, and he learned all of the indigenous languages from a child. After that, he ended up getting married, having about 10 boys. All those boys were indoctrinated with all of the native languages, and then they spread those sons out, Iberville and Bentonville being one, to go and take land from the Indians. Well, Iberville and Bienville, I mean, if you know anything about them, they basically colonized, if you will, Louisiana down to Mississippi, mainly Louisiana. But when they went to one of the villages, the chief there, his name was Big Son. And Big Son, they, once, because they had to buy off, marry in. That's how they kept working their way down different places. They had to swindle, they had to trick themselves into some of these tribes. And them Indians was kicking their tail, believe me. But when he got to Louisiana, he was describing how Big Son came in, where that his village was spectacular. He talked about all of the little cabins that they had, how he came dressed out, and how he had these big silver, not big silver, big copper plates, and how he had people carrying him. But the bottom line is the Europeans, the French, along with their missionaries and the Jesuit priests, they ended up doing some kind of ritual for the Indians. But what they did was they ended up planting the flag for Spain, and they did the sign of the cross and all the rest of this mess they be doing. And the Indians they couldn't figure out what they was doing. So in the book, it was saying, or in this journal, he was basically saying that the Indians was confused, like, what are they doing? And they traded them for some trinkets. The Indians didn't realize it, but they traded them from some trinkets for their land, and then they took it all, right? They came back like a couple of weeks, months later, with over 500 French soldiers, and then attacked them, But I'm saying all that to say, I'm just adding to the point, we too nice, okay? You invite people into your tribe, making a barbecue, showing them your medal, okay, and then they doing a ceremony. You thinking that they trying to just show you? I don't know what they was thinking, but you let them in. They do a ritual. They planting flags and showing you a cross and doing the sign of a cross. You feed them, and then they come back and then they blow your head off.
But Carrie, isn't that just the way we are today? We always think, we think that everybody's like us. Oh, they wouldn't do that. Oh, why would they do that? We give them our attributes. We can't really understand that these people are not like us. They're not like us. Their hearts are like us. They don't have ethics like us. They don't have a sense of morals and conscience like that. It's not natural to them. So, I mean, no. They're going 2 legs, arms, and a heart. No, everybody that look like you ain't you. And a lot of beasts and a lot of monsters walk around looking like they're you, but they're not you.
Say that one more time.
We're learning that. We got to get that.
I know. How we gonna get it though?
Your favorite, Carrie.
I said, I don't know how we're gonna get it. We love, so I mean, think about the big mamas, the Madeiras, our moms. I don't know how we gonna get it.
We loving everybody and everything until we get slashed up. Okay. Come on now.
All you gotta do is pay a fucking attention.
I know.
And we refuse to do that.
No.
Football season coming up. We're not paying attention. And I say that word "we" with quote marks because it ain't no we. It ain't no we. Because what she just said, It's not the people who say we, they're always on what something looks like.
Hmm.
How big, how shiny is it?
Mhm.
And it, that just that fluff shit. The
Hmm.
the the average high 90s% African American thinks that way.
Mhm.
That's how they've been trained.
Yep. Indoctrination.
And you really can't tell me that that's all they know. They haven't once in their life sat down and thought about anything.
Mm.
Do this sometime. Do
Mm.
this. Do this sometime when you're in a conversation with an African American. Ask them a question that'll really get them to think. Do this. What year was it that the indigenous people say it was? How did they look at time? Months, days, years? How did they look at time?
Hmm.
Ask them that. They never even thought of it. You're connected. You're connected right here, and you keep looking outside of yourself, and that's allowing everybody to creep in.
Hmm.
You keep looking outside of yourself. Shit, your mama carried you for 9 months. You was in her. That that should tell you something. It don't. So all I'm saying is this: all these games we playing, trying to be, it's sickening.
Hmm.
Just be who you are. Lisa tells you all the time, do some genealogy, find out
Hmm.
who people were. And look for things when you do the genealogy. What companies are there in those places? Because those places have a lot. And it's not just big cities, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, Dallas. It's
Hmm.
small towns, small places that you never even heard of
Hmm.
that has resources that are really, really important.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
so these are the things we should be talking about. This is you.
Right.
This is you.
Right.
You're connected to this land.
Right.
And
It's
as long as you go by names that people call you black, I mean, if you really think of it, people just won't drop that word. And it's the most derogatory word. If you see yourself as nothing, anybody can do anything to you. You see yourself as nothing. That's what the word black implies. Redacted. Everything is blocked out so you can't understand it. That's what they're saying. That's what you're saying about yourself.
Unknown.
You know what I'm saying? Unknown. Black spot. Get it out of here. Let's rub it out. Let's put some bleach on it. And you call yourself that? You teach your children that they're that? Your mama call herself that? And won't even look up, won't even look at to where they grandmother's from. Who was she? She had to be somebody because she was here. She had you. That's not important.
Yes, indeed.
We don't even do that.
Mhm. Have you ever wondered, like, how, I mean, like you said, I mean,
You kind of far away from the
oh,
mic.
I'm gonna have to get me my one of them little mics on. But have you ever wondered? I always ask myself, how did we even start calling ourselves black? Like, I mean, how did that even start, and why? When we think about the color, I mean, I know, and I think right now we have um, some type of trauma issues going on, right? So, how did we even identify ourselves, and why did we go along with that? You know, and I know mainly it's because we want to belong. We don't want to deal with the trauma, and we've kind of accepted all of the lies. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out why black. Like, why wasn't it called brown? You know what I mean? Am I the only one that be thinking? Like, I'm like, I always think like,
It,
why black?
it, it
That's
was
an
Why
interesting
not
question.
brown?
it was
And
called
do you
no.
think it wasn't brown because we had that color Indian red, which was actually brown? I don't know. I just don't understand the whole black thing.
It's black because you allowed once it's again it was directed by people that want to destroy you, right? So
Mm,
what they do is they say, well, the Negro, there's a lot of data that links the Negro to the Indian, right? So
mm,
what they do is they get your respected leaders to say Negro, and there's a video about it that says Negro is a horrible term, and you get all these Pan-African people. I don't know if you've seen the video, but you get all these Pan-African
that is,
people to say Negro is a terrible word and we must get rid of it. You know what I mean?
no, I'd rather
So
be a Negro.
that's how it started. They
Mm,
vilified the Negro. They used the educated leaders to
mm,
vilify Negro, right? And
mhm,
then they give you a substitute. The substitute is
mm,
what they want to call you, and that it is something that means dead is really
mm,
it's the part of the witchcraft that they're
yep,
always using. They're
right,
always using witchcraft against us, and the
yep,
word play is part of that sorcery. So
right.
yeah, so black actually happened with James Brown and them, right? That's a James Brown thing. James
Mm,
Brown and when they were like, oh, we're rebelling, or we're upset about Martin Luther King dying. Well, say it out. I'm black and I'm proud, So they got rid of
mm,
the whole Negro because Negroes were oppressed, but they created that illusion because if you've watched the green, what is it called, the green book, that green
yeah,
book.
I saw that. Yeah, that was years ago.
I never
Yeah,
watched it. I just watched it, and I was
yeah.
like, damn, this motherfucker was ball. He was balling. He was balling out. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
really, it was for the way I thought it was gonna be. Was it gonna talk about how it segregated the Southwest? To me, what it showed was
Mm-hmm.
how liberated and how much we were balling, and
Mm-hmm.
there were segments of society where there was racism, but the
Mm-hmm.
reality was, despite that, Negroes was balling out, right?
Yep.
So, but they wanted to give the impression that Negro was an oppressive term, a term we
Mm-hmm.
needed to let go of, a term associated with slavery. So,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, that's
Mm-hmm.
why the whole black am I proud thing, because they linked it to I'm proud. See, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. So that was supposed to be, now I'm proud of myself. I'm black. Okay.
And we,
So
yeah,
that
we
And
need to
became
start
a thing
watching these words.
until black wasn't
Mm-hmm.
enough to erase
Mm-hmm.
you from this country and put you somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else. Black
Mm-hmm.
did not define that you were a foreigner. And what they really wanted was to define that we were foreigners. So that's when they were like, you got to say African American, because we got to let them know that they
Mm-hmm.
ain't from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all strategic.
And you know what's funny?
Everything's part of the battle.
Right. And the funny thing is, Africans don't, I mean, like, so Africans don't even call themselves black. And they got some Indians that's as black as ever. They don't
Right,
even call themselves black. So,
right.
like you said, it was just a psychological thing by the powers that be in the entertainers who are sellouts for us,
Mm-hmm.
um, to just trick us into this whole trauma bond, the lack of, you know, you're not. You're not even an American. Like y'all was saying earlier. You're not even an Indian. You're not an African. You just ain't nothing. You just lack of everything.
Right,
Mental trauma.
right.
Yeah, we got to start watching words, and we got to realize that the language we speak, this English, is nothing but a spell too. That maybe that's why they call it spelling. But we got to watch these words that they make us say, like black, stuff like that. They just, like you said, voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, the whole thing.
Right, right. And
We
these
using the words against ourselves.
and these words define us in ways. And so, we can't stop letting other people define us. And so, like with the Freedmen, I'll bring it back around. They are saying that they are descendants of enslaved people. That's the way they are allowing themselves to be defined. And so now the FBAs are embracing a freedman because they say yes. And this whole embracing enslavement is a misnomer because most of these people were slave owners. Most of these people were free farmers. This whole chattel slavery is not even a true it's not even really grounded in a lot of truth. So that's the problem. When you don't know what's true about your family, you're gonna fall for anything. Like the people that, like we were talking about before the live, the people in Virginia that brought up plantation, that they thought it was their slave owners' plantation. Honey, that name is your name. They steal your name and claim that territory to be yours, that land to be yours. You're the people that own and built that stuff. But see, we don't know it. We don't know the truth. We believe the fiction that, the slave master gave us our name. Now, why would somebody give you a name that carries money with it, a name that carries property with it? Why would you give it to your? It's like your commodity. Why would you give it to a commodity of yours? That doesn't even make any sense.
Now, you know what I did the other day? I debate with the AI. The AI is a liar, but if you debate with it long enough, it'll tell you some stuff that'll make you just. I use it as a research tool. It's a liar, but it'll help you kind of get something. But the other day, reading this book, speaking about plantations, I asked the AI. I said, so if the Europeans came over here with nothing, and it was only a handful of them at a time, well, my first question to them was how did they build plantations by themselves when, there's only like 100 of them. They don't know where the wood is. I mean, how did that happen? Of course, the AI gave me a bunch of foolishness and lies. Then I asked the AI, did the slaves, well, I started with slaves, help build the plantation. They said yes. So then I tricked it to say, well, how did the slaves help when slaves weren't even in Louisiana until after 1750? So how did that happen? And if so, show me any place in the world where there are plantation houses outside of the United States. It couldn't find any. So then I started asking the AI, so if the Europeans were so advanced and had blueprints for plantations, why didn't they build any in India, where you said they had slaves, and or whatever they had? Why didn't they have any in Africa? Where's the plantation houses in Africa? But I do that kind of stuff with the AI. I try to trick it up because she's lying, but I'm also trying to prove my point that they all lying too. So if the plantation homes are only in America, where the Indian were, and these Europeans were so smart, why they didn't build them over in their own country? Why come over here and name it a plantation? But I like to catch it in a bunch of lies.
Yeah, but plantations was just farmland.
That's it.
With family work, and then sometimes you need more because if but a lot of people don't know. Because a lot of people don't know, right? And I do genealogy, and when you check the records, like the wills, and you find land, you find that they had thousands of acres. Like one ancestor could have owned like 1,500 acres, and 200 or 300 was just used just for farm.
Right.
So we're talking about 300 acres. 300 acres is a lot of land just to be growing crops. And you're going to need like maybe 10, 20 people to do the work to fill.
Right.
And so that's where you get the slavery from. I don't know if a lot of people recall it or not. I was just thinking about it. When I was young, we was taught that the slaves were counted with the stock. With the livestock.
Yeah, that's what they told me. Yeah.
Right. But when you check the records, that's not true. There's no one counted with livestock. The livestock is counted by itself. Yeah, they have the records up. And livestock is just livestock. That's it. what you had on the farm, how many pigs, how many chickens, how many, it's all on the in the 1800s. But it's just all lies. So it's just all, you got to pick through these lies. But and like the Indigenous one said, you got to really start thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And like for me, it was like mine started back when I was a Pan African already. When I had a disdain, when I had a disdain for white people. Like, I mean, not for white people, but from getting your knowledge from the white system. Because I
Right.
remember that was a thing. Like, we got to stop believing the system. Because we knew the system was full of lies, and and this is the conversation we used to have amongst our peers in school. You know what I mean? Like, this school is nonsense. What they're teaching us is, is really slowing us down. And so we had little pieces of the puzzle. You know what I mean?
What
We
year was
just,
that?
I mean, I grew up in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, I'm slow. I just started waking up like 5 years ago, and I went right to the library and went crazy. I started reading all kinds of stuff.
I mean, it's not your fault. I mean, they got millions of us. I was
Yeah.
there. I was there.
Wow.
But the
I love
small things that small things that still had, like, that made you question.
Mm-hmm.
But but like you said, these are our names. These are Indian names. The average names, weird names like McDonald, you might think comes from, or Arrington, or Buffington, or the weirdest names you might think that come from Europe. They're pure Indian names, and we got to wake up. You know what I mean? We had to wake up.
So what do you think it'll take to get people to even look at what you just said?
Right. That's a good question.
I would say that I always say genealogy. That's like my prime go to, because that's where you learn. That's why I learned my folks were free, and I was like, hold on. I thought everybody was a slave until 1865. So that's what I'm saying. So for me, the records was the first open door to, like, have me question, like, wow. And it wasn't only my ancestor, everybody on that census, because it
Right,
said free inhabitants.
right,
so everybody on the census were free.
right.
That part.
Well, kind of. Well, I'm not gonna say COVID woke me up, but with the world just standing still and me trying to figure out what in the world is going on, I had some family tragedy that was going on. But I feel like if people hadn't, I don't know. I don't know what I do feel like a lot of people are waking up slowly, you know. Um, but I'm not sure what it's going to take for everybody else to wake up fast enough for whatever is about to happen. Because I feel like every day, every week, something new and crazy is going on. But I don't know. You know, I don't know what it's going to take for everybody to wake up.
Everybody's not gonna wake up.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You're right
So
about that.
hey, you just get with the people that you vibe with.
Look, that's why I have to look. I be trying to follow this channel. I mean, this my new channel. I'm like, look, y'all just have to be my family. Take me, please, because
Oh, yeah.
I don't have anybody else to talk to about this. Most people think I'm crazy.
No, they don't think you crazy. They just don't. They know they can't fuck with you because you're saying stuff that they can't talk about, that they have no interest in.
Yeah,
It's not that you crazy. Just keep on what you're doing and pay attention to what's going on around you.
right.
Pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
because
they tell me to stay out the library. What are you doing in there? Like
you,
trying to figure.
that's funny.
Yeah,
That
stay out the library. That's what they
yeah.
telling me.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine your mama telling you to stay out the library?
All right.
Man, I'm telling you, man, these Negroes, cause I see not it won't happen.
Right.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
You can try to, and we started this just so people can pay attention. You at
Right.
home,
Right.
You at home.
Yeah,
Your
you ain't
mama's,
gotta go nowhere.
your mama's from here.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You taking orders from other people? Are you crazy?
Hmm.
And you know that we do it with our chest stuck out. We proud,
Right.
you know,
Come on.
and this is what we're handing off. And
Hmm.
remember, what goes around comes around.
Hmm.
You hand this off, it's gonna get handed right back to you. Because one thing I noticed about the Black African American, they're pre what they everything. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? It's just that they're stuck on those senses.
I call that carnality. They all in their emotions, like that song say. Get out of your emotions and get into reality. Wake up.
And it's other, you know, like when you strike a guitar,
Mm-hmm.
you hit the letter G and
Mm-hmm.
you just keep hearing it go bang, 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 and until it fades out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been taken, we've allowed ourselves to get caught up in this stuff. And it's gonna take a lot. I'm not saying it can't be done because it is being done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Well, do you feel like, I mean, how long have you been in, trying to, in the truth and in the knowledge?
okay, so this is the cool part that everybody got a story. Everybody has a story. And
Mm-hmm.
what Echo Mac Engine said is what's happened to me. I was in all that.
Oh, we lost you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So, I was getting into all that stuff, but I was always asking questions
Mm-hmm.
because just it got to make sense, like you tying your shoes or something, you know.
Right.
It has to make sense. So in all of these groups I was in, I would get kicked out of these groups and told I was a sellout, a snitch, a Uncle Tom, whatever, because I was asked questions that they had no answers for. That's the church.
No,
The church is a joke.
a big joke. I be
A,
telling people,
a,
come on out.
a joke.
Hmm.
It's a fucking joke.
Hmm.
And this is what I mean. This is on us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things is not what people are doing to us, is what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing to ourselves.
Yep.
And
Mm-mm.
one of the things that we're doing to ourselves is being dumbasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying everybody's like this, but for real, cuz
Mm-hmm.
for real,
Mm-hmm.
it really. So with this term black, they're trying to get rid of you. The,
Mm-hmm.
you're having too many babies.
Mm-hmm.
Too many babies. I love that. So the life force keep coming. They're
Hmm.
trying they're trying to make you not have no more babies. They've been doing it
Crazy.
for a long time.
Hmm.
That's
Yes. Indeed.
the whole meaning of the word black, a shadow.
Hmm.
Look up these other words. Look at these words in other languages and see what they
Hmm.
mean. You are not, you pick up these terms that they made up, that the indigenous people introduced themselves as black people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh, what was the? I was look. You said do eugenics introduce themselves as black people?
No, not what I said.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
The American Indians
Oh
introduced
no,
themselves as black people.
no, they didn't introduce themselves as that.
So why do we call ourselves that now?
That's that's what I'm saying. I mean, I have no. I mean, wanting to belong. Like you said, we doing it to ourselves. We putting spells on ourselves. We hurting ourselves.
Lisa, you want to share that? You there?
I'll move somebody. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share it. Hold on.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I just wanted to show it. It's a few minutes. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Where it at? Where it at?
My brain is being stimulated.
Yeah, we've been stimulated. There you go. There you go. Here we go.
NEGOs are the most written about and the least understood world's people. This term Negro demoralizes us and is it detrimental? I feel it doesn't give us any association past the slave ship.
I think that the first task of people of African descent, whether in the United States or in Africa or elsewhere, is to get rid of this slave named Negro.
This curious word Negro was seldom or never used in Africa itself. And this word has no meaning, or no worthwhile meaning at all, in Africa. I would doubt myself if it has any useful meaning anywhere else.
What is a Negro? A simple question, but the answer is not so simple.
You people.
Garbage.
Who were those guys? Because they the enemy.
Those were the minds of the time.
You can't hear you.
Those were the respected minds of the time in 1965.
Yeah.
So,
But did you peep it?
you see how the white dude said it's never used in Africa. So
And that's
see,
a lie.
that's the key. That's the key. When they say is he said it never. That's why when you say there's 20 odd Negroes, they could not be African. It was not ever never used in Africa. He said it himself. Okay. And then what they did was they vilified it because Negro connects you to the Indian.
The Negro is the Indian. That's why.
Right. The Negro is the Indian. But you gotta get rid of that Negro to get rid of the Indian association.
Wow.
So what? Put it in Africa.
Instead, what did they do? Just like the freedmen, they connect to the slave. All you can ever be in this country is a slave. Right. And then the people that are FBA, they're traitors because that's all they want to associate with is being a descendant of a slave, which is a whole big crazy lie. Because white folks are descendants of slaves. So how are you going to act like you need reparations based on being a descendant of a slave when white folks are the descendants of slaves? So that doesn't make you, if that qualifies you for reparations, then white folks need reparations first because they were the first ones imported.
And we was exported and prisoners of war right now. We prisoners of war.
Right.
And they took some of us out of here and brought us to other places.
So think of all the brothers and sisters in jail.
Ooh.
Just imagine how life is being blacked out for them. They're not able to reproduce. None of them.
They black. Boy, look how powerful that word is. Without,
yeah,
they are blacked out.
Yeah,
they blackball.
Yeah. So
wow.
So this is what we try to be about. Look at stuff in reality. How it is. Sometimes you got to call it what it is. That way the kids won't be confused.
Right. That was powerful.
Yeah, you don't want to confuse the kids. You want to give it to them straight, no chaser.
Carrie, say that again. Because you know what? I have never thought of it in quite that way. The population that is being lost to imprisonment is outrageously high. Okay.
Say that again.
And okay. So, oh my God, the population that we are losing. And this alone. See, this is the thing. This is why we don't have time for people that are tick-tocking and playing games, because the reality is that you have to stand up and stand up correct in your identity, because as a true repatriated nation, that's the only way you're going to get it. You ain't going to get it by being no freedman. You're not going to be able to say, oh, let my people out of prison as a freedman. That ain't going to happen, because what is a freedman? A descendant of a descendant? Okay, that's not power. That is not having standing. Having standing is everything. Okay, so in order to have standing, to be in your power, you have to be in the identity that you are, the identity of your ancestors. Okay, these freedmen are sidestepping their identity. They're taking a peasant role, a freaking almost like a daggone like a mascot role to what they really are. They're not the real thing. They're like a little dancing mascot of the people. Okay, they're not the real team. They're dancing on the sidelines. That's not real. Their real ancestors said, we are Muscogee Creek freedmen, but you did not understand what that meant. So the thing is, they should have organized themselves as the true Muscogee Creek. They can say freedmen if they want to, but when you define yourself, you let them know that when I say freedman, I'm a whole Indian. That's what you need to know about me. You don't let anybody define you below what you are. And then what you're able to do, and why I'm saying this right now, is that you can get your people out of prison, right? A real nation can free their people.
Come on.
And that's why they don't want you to understand that you need to repatriate yourself into the real nation that you're from, because there's a power that comes with it. And all these losses that we are suffering by having our brightest people locked away, and our brightest reproducing people, they can't reproduce smart people because all the dummies are out here faking it to make it. That's a major loss. But as a repatriated people, a people that is standing on their rights and their power, you may have people slaying arrows at you. You may have to dodge a few daggone legal bullets like I have to do. But in the end of it, our goal is to be a whole nation with real rights and not defined by people that oppress us. You don't get to define our rights and privileges. That is defined by us, not by you, and certainly not by a state which is subordinate to everything. See, that's the difference. That's how you can go in and say, Pookie, yeah, we know that you did something or you didn't do nothing. Because a lot of people are in jail for not doing nothing, okay? A lot of us are in jail for not doing anything. Go just being in the wrong place, because now they got laws that lock you up for being in the car with a person that did something stupid and accidentally shot somebody, and then you go to jail for freaking 4 or 5 years as a child. You come out as an adult, they still got you on probation till you're 36. That's what's happening to our people. So but as a real nation, we're able to say, hey, no, he's Akamat. You don't treat him like that. No, they're not going to jail. No, you're not going to give him that felony charge. No, you're not a part. Our people aren't a part of you. In fact, we shutting this jailhouse and this courthouse down because this is our territory. right?
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Shutting it down.
Come on.
But see, we're all being misled into being different things, making up fake tribes. We the cocoa puff tribe. We the chocolate covered nut tribe. We the come on now. Don't call
Right.
yourself a cocoa or a chocolate or a daggone silver lining tribe. What the world? You need to go into your like Carrie said, your own little towns, your own little counties, your own states, your own places where your own people come from, and resurrect the real historical names, the names they try to make you forget, the names that match the rivers, the names that match the trees, the names that match the damn lakes, the names that match the mountains. You have to go resurrect your people, your real people, the people that are on records, the people that you come to find out, wait a minute, this whole town was Indians. This whole town was started by Indians. Doggone, we got a whole treaty for our nation. That's what happened to the brother that's repatriating his people in Alabama now that I met on TikTok. He found out they got treaties for just his people. That he didn't know that this was the name that his ancestors was telling him this name. Focus on this name. I thought he was tripping. He was right. His ancestors were directing him. That name that I didn't think sounded like it made sense, made a whole lot of sense. It's got a whole treaty associated with that name. A whole town full of Negro Indians was running that shit in the 1800s. So that's the thing you find out. It ain't my history, it's his history. But then we found out that his Alabama Indians are connected to my Occomack Indians. We all are interconnected. But you can't stand up and do this stuff if you don't start it right. If your foundation is not daggone correct. If you're not moving in the right way. If you're not willing to stand in the way of these daggone demons and stand up to them because they scared us. Why are you scared of them? You scared of them. They scared us. It makes no sense. They are fragile. Have you worked with them? They're very fragile. Okay. So why are you afraid? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Mama Miss, you have the floor.
Well, hello, you wonderful people. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I've been following you for a little while or whatever on here. I get notifications that you come on sometimes, but I just followed you on Instagram. I don't know the lady name who was just talking, but she was on fire, and I was just like, I'm like, and I'm listening to her talk. I'm like, oh, she kind of talk like me when she get excited, like she kind of peek out the mic. I was like, okay, go ahead with I love it. But yeah, hey everybody, my name is Mama Mist. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, GI Chi-Town, but I'm currently in the Queen City getting real Charlotte. Okay. So I have been doing this research, like knowingly doing the research for like 25 years. And I'm just like, it wasn't no groups and stuff. Like even 6 years ago, it wasn't all these groups of people saying, hey, I'm indigenous. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looked at as crazy for saying I'm from here. You get what I'm saying? So to hear y'all talking and hear, the work that you guys are doing, what I'm saying? I'm tickled pink, basically. So yeah, that's why I was like, let me come up here and say hello and see what's going on over in these corridors over here.
Hello.
So my family's from Mississippi though. I'm Choctaw. And
but who are your people? Who were they? Who are they?
Who are my people?
Yeah, because Choctaw they flow into Alabama, Tennessee. Who were your people? Where did they live?
Oh, they lived in the Delta. Hey, Enoch, how you doing, boo?
Well, this is the thing that we need to do in order to really to build is to find the counties and the censuses and the territory where like your ancestors come from, and then then you become the deep researcher of those counties, right? You deep research who were the people that lived there before everybody else got there. And you may have to go get old books. You may have to go digging in like the library, like Carrie said. You may have to go to thrift stores or whatever. You may have to go to your local library, and wherever you are now, there could be information, and there probably is information about your people right in Mississippi. But it's about finding out the real names, not the big generic names, not the five civilized tribes, because that's all big generic bullcrap. There's an actual specific name that belongs to your particular family and your particular nation that is really you, right?
Okay. I didn't
But until we get to those, see, because when you start getting down to that, like you're like, oh, I'm the Choctaw Kaliki people, right? Okay, so when
well
you
I'm
say of the of the Choctaw, whatever, you might say you use as another add-on, but the main thing is your Choctaw Taliki or whatever. So you say you're the Choctaw Taliki, right? When you start researching the Choctaw Taliki, like the brother who started looking into his people in Alabama, you're gonna start finding things. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, there's a patent for this. We used to do this. We were known for that. We did that. You'll find specific things about you, but also by being able to build and declare yourself who you really are, it's gonna give you a certain standing to they're gonna say, okay, look, we still here. We know our identity. We know we're learning. We got our history. We're learning our history, and we declare ourselves present, and we declare our rights right now. Like that is how you are able to build up based upon knowing who you are. When we just kind of sit in the broad space, nothing really happens. You're just at a dead heat. And then people tend to be like, well, I'm going to draw. What do I do? Do I draw the Choctaw Nation? Well, that's a government entity.
yeah. So I've done that, well, I could go further, you know what I'm saying? However, when you get to, like you said, when you say Choctaw or whatever, they're signed up underneath the federal government, right? So what a benefit is it for me to re-sign up underneath that federal government? Because you know what I'm saying? Because I'm Choctaw or
No,
whatever.
you're not. Because like I said,
Okay,
that's an
ma'am.
umbrella term. No, that's what I'm saying. You're not
No,
that. That's the big
but you're
thing.
not letting me finish, sweetie. You're not letting me finish. You're not. So, but I know where my folks are from. So I'm Choctaw and I'm also Chirac, but you cut me off when I was getting ready to say I'm also Chirac. So that's small town here in South Carolina.
South Carolina. That's different.
Yeah. So I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but and I know who. My shit go back into the 1700s, like early 1700s.
Okay, so
So before the U.S. was the U.S.
And so where's that?
I've been able to find that much.
So what's the name of the people from the 1700s there? What's the name of those?
Campbell.
I mean, you're Campbell's in Mississippi or Campbell's in South Carolina?
No, in South Carolina.
So the Campbells are Chirac?
Mm-hmm.
They're from they're Chiracs?
I said, yeah.
Okay. But you don't call yourself a Chirac, you call yourself a Choctaw? What side of the family is it your dad's side that's a Chirac, or your mom?
It's my mom's.
Okay. So, but you don't call yourself a Chirac, you call yourself a Choctaw?
I don't even say Choctaw like that. I say Choctaw. That's what I say.
Well, however you say it, Choctaw. You can you claim yourself. So, I mean, this is my point. My point is that the only way we're going to actually empower ourselves is by empowering ourselves. And the only way you can empower ourselves if more people actually take what they do know of their family history and their nation history and build upon it. Because if we don't, we're just a bunch of people using a bunch of made up names or using a bunch of names, and there's nothing we can do in an organized fashion with it. The more people that actually take their genealogy and move forward with that information to the next level, that's the more that we can do. It doesn't take a lot of us either. Like, even if it's four really well-developed nations, 3 well-developed nations can do a whole lot of changing in this country just by being well-developed in your identity, being well-developed in your standing, making yourself well-known to the government and to all the entities and to the people that you are representing and who represent you. And we could do some stuff. That's all. That's all it takes. But see, if we just continue to be like, oh, it's interesting information, and we know who we are, and that's where it ends, then that's all it's ever going to be. It's going to be people saying I'm Indian, and just it don't mean nothing. And our condition never gets better. Although we have all the tools and all the power and all the rights and all the ability to change the whole planet and the way we are in it right at our fingertips, we're not availing ourselves to it.
No, I understand what you're saying.
That's the thing I'm talking about. That's the thing that I'm very passionate about. So that's why when I come on or whether it's my channel or his or whoever's, I usually make a point, or whether I'm on TikTok, I make a point, and my reason for being is to find people that are ready to chief up. People that are ready to chief up, that are ready to take the mantle and ready to move forward with with more than just their identity, with ready to actually assume a leadership role and moving forward, not just staying, oh, well, I know where my family is and I'm cool with that. Not people that want to say, oh, I'm an urban Indian. That crap is a dead end. We can't organize that way. We can't really build that way. All these things are like these distractions that keep us from doing big things. Our ancestors set this all up so we can step in where they left off. But if we don't step in where they left off, just like the Freedmen, going back to the Freedmen's family set them up. They said, this is who we are. We are freedmen, right? But they said we are Muscogee Creek freedmen. They didn't say they were African freedmen. That's not what they told their families. They specifically told them. That's why they're fighting for Muscogee Creek, whatever, citizenship. But the mistake is this. They don't understand that fighting to be part of a recognized nation is not really what your people were. Your people stood on 10 toes and said, we Muscogee Creek, we don't give a damn what you say. We Muscogee Creek Freeman, we don't give a damn what you say. So what they did was they kept their identity intact. They did not actually say, oh, please, baby, please let us in, because really their ancestors knew these people weren't them. These people were cosplaying as them. They knew that. But things being different at the time, the way people moved different at the time, they moved in the way they moved. Today, we choose to compromise ourselves when we do this kind of thing. When we say, oh, I'm satisfied with letting people tell me I'm a descendant of a slave, or I'm calling myself a descendant of a slave, when my ancestors, they ain't say nothing about them being slaves. Why would anybody transport an African slave to Oklahoma? That's weird. So I mean, so basically, when we start to accept these lies that are brought to us by the powers that be, then we actually cheat ourselves and cheat our ancestors. The same thing as if when we have this heritage of any other Indian nation, and we don't empower ourselves with that. So those that have the wherewithal to chief up, that's where I come on. I like to find the chiefs or the people that are looking to be Accomac, the other Accomacs that are out there. I look for Accomacs and I look for people that want to chief up. And if I'm lucky to find one, I'm very satisfied to find one. But that's my whole thing is to let people know that the only way we could change things like the prison system, like who's in prison, who's not, be our own government, be able to have our own courts, is by being the true indigenous nations that we are, and not sidestep it, step up in it.
All right. I didn't catch your name, no. So
Lisa Cypress, I am the trustee and chief of the Accomac Indian, Accomac Akamontases, Powhatan, Gingaskin Indians of Virginia.
Lisa Cypress, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Hola, Lisa. I'm
Yeah,
Mama Miss,
Wingapo.
Mother's Mystery.
Yes.
What up, though? What up, folk? As we would say in the G in the Shot Town. What up? What up with you? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Um, yeah, like as far as when you're doing the research and stuff, and then it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know I know my heritage, but how do I go about, what I'm saying? That knowledge ain't been out there, for real. And like you said, you can mess around and get yourself into a trick bag, putting yourself in a underling role ruled by folks who are pretending to be you. You feel me? So, yeah, so it's like, okay, do I make myself a under citizen of what I already been? When you try to achieve sovereignty, you become a citizen of a a second citizen. That don't quite make sense. You feel me?
Right.
I don't like.
That's why the real thing is to actually be who you really, really are, and to repatriate your actual history of who your people are, the real people. There are people that are set up to do that. I do know some people that are, I mean, they're interested in chiefing up in Mississippi. I don't know if they're actually your people, but they may be. But they already have a homestead there. They have animals, they have farm, they farming, they doing all that stuff. They're already in the community, move back to the territory. So there are people that
Mhm.
are, that's what I look for, the people that are looking to chief up. If they're ready to chief up, and then I'll do whatever I can to give them the building blocks they need in order to do it. Like, what do you want? Let's research, let's dig in, let's figure out who your people are, what these names are, what vibrates with you, what's your ancestry, what's your nation. Let's build it back better and let's reestablish it, and then let's get you the way to declare it, and to declare yourself, and then let's get you, there's so many different things, your identity, and everything. It's a process, but it's
Mhm.
the process. And yeah, you're right, you might not want to do that, but there might be somebody who is, you know who might even be in this live, who's thinking, yeah, that's my ancestry, Mississippi. I want to chief up. There might be somebody ready to chief up, that has the heritage, the same heritage as you. You never know. Or there may be somebody already doing it. I just may not be, or we may not be
Yeah,
aware.
connected. Yeah. Mhm. And I get where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
But that should be the goal. I mean, we have people that are in Canada that are doing it. They're chiefing up. They've repatriated their people. They are going back to their homeland. They're reclaiming what has been stolen. So it's happening in small little bits and pieces. And people are reconnecting in little ways. So it's happening, but that needs to be, a little bit more dominant. That's the real way of, they're gonna encourage you like they encourage me. Yeah, you want to be recognized? Oh yeah, no. I don't want you. How dare you think you can recognize me? Who the hell? What is America? What, the United States? You are a corporation. Who gave you the authority to be here? Who
Come on.
recognized you? Okay. Did my people recognize you? I don't know. That we didn't recognize you. So therefore, what authority you have to recognize a nation that predates you?
Lisa, is there a way for us to get in contact with you offline?
Yeah.
Do you have like a website or
Dad say
email?
just put it up there. It's
Okay.
acamac.org. You can a direct message will come to us, really to me. And if you do a contact there, it'll come right straight to my email. And we can get together and talk offline. We can connect via some more private mechanisms that we use, and because anything that I know, I'm willing to share, and for someone who sincerely is interested in doing the work, you know what I mean. And that's the whole thing. I have helped people that didn't do very that didn't use the information in a way that I feel good about, you know what I mean. But that's a chance you take sometime. You just can't tell what people are gonna do, you know what I mean. So it is what it is. You just go out there with an open, pure heart and just, kind of hope for the best, But like I said, on the other hand, there's been some really great people that I'm just so grateful that I had the opportunity to meet and have an opportunity to exchange information with. So it's been a real treat to have that happen. So, yep.
Well, cool. We coming up on closing time.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I came in at the tail end of the party. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours.
Y'all had stoked the fire. Y'all done fried the fish and everything by the time I got in here. Y'all done ate, and I'm hoping I can just get a little chicken wing and a piece of, and maybe some punch and go home. But yes, and this just one, like I said, I followed you on Instagram, Lisa. I guess you don't have an Instagram.
I do have an Instagram. What is my Instagram? Liren, I think. Liren. I'm also Liren Liren on Facebook. Liren Cypress. I'm Liren on Liren on TikTok too. And I have my YouTube is Indigenous Acamac.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is it? Tasha Kai? I used to get her notification.
Tasha She, yeah.
Yeah.
Tasha She, yeah. We all know each other. We've all been in each other's presence in real life. So yeah, we because yeah. I mean we kind of, this has been a process, you know what I mean? And us learning each other and trying to be, try to commune with each other. And for me to try to teach my family, that's how I met Carrie. Because I was like, what? Because, I did genealogy for years as well. And I was like, everybody's a damn Indian. So I was like, okay. So then I was like, well, wait a minute. And then I was like, wait a minute. We got this territory. We got this. So I was like, nah, I got to. So I started calling cousins and like explaining it and just bending their ears for an hour and then leaving them alone and calling them another 3 months and doing it again. And I was like, I got to do a summit. So I did a summit because I felt like it was important for my family and the Acamacs to hear from someone other than me, right? Because a lot of times you're like, Lisa, or whatever, you know what I mean? But when they hear from someone else, it comes off different, right? So I didn't know Carrie. I didn't know Tasha. I really hadn't watched a lot of videos. My thing really came from me having done research and then after I did it, I was like, where are there other people that know this shit? You know, so I was like looking for people that knew, and that's when I came upon people on Facebook. Carrie has the group African Americans Ain't African, and I believe that I met Michael Hampton. Michael Hampton introduced me to Carrie. I had actually went and talked to A1, and Tasha, I had seen her video, but I really hadn't watched a lot of them, but I'd seen her on there. I saw a lot of Phoenix Moon. And so then I was like, okay, I had reached out to all of them, but Carrie, that was through Michael Hampton. And Carrie was like immediately yes. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And so, and so was Tasha. Tasha was like immediately yes. She would come to the summit. And then Carrie brought some other people. And so it was like, it was crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. The ancestors were like pushing me around. I had no idea why I was so driven to do this thing, but I was like, I have to also show the people in this county that we are here. Because I know my local cousins would not necessarily show up because it's a very oppressed county. It's very racist. It's a Ku Klux Klan mecca, right? And so I really, I didn't blame them, but I knew that local cousins would not necessarily show up. But really, what ended up happening is cousins came from Cali, from Florida, from New York, from Pennsylvania, from New Jersey, from Maryland. They came from all over. Like people came from Ohio, people came from Arizona, people came from all over, but and they were ACMAC connected, right? So they came, and Carrie was there, and we had speakers, and I had made poster boards, and I have like all these old books that I've collected, of its historical information. And so it was really cool. But yeah, that's how we connected. We all like stayed in the same houses or stayed together, and we hung out afterwards, and it was like a big, nice vibe. And that's how I kicked it off. And then we did it for several years until the county started hating on us for trying to fight for our land. And so then they barred me from using the park, which is our Indian property, right? And I've been fighting for it in court for years, and I'm still fighting for it. And I've got a warrant for my arrest. It's a lot going on, but it's all worth it because this is how you establish your rights, right? So I mean, I know it doesn't sound like it if me saying it real cavalier, but it is. It's how I.
No, I hear you plain and clear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because now that I'm willing to fight through it, I've been fighting through this for a year. They've been playing games and making up these fake charges against me for a year, playing with my life, right? And so right now I'm at the point where I said to them, look, you have no authority. I'm not going to partake in your sham of a proceeding any further. I'm not going to show up for any further hearings, no trial, nothing, because this is void. This is vacant. This is a farce. Okay.
Right.
No authority. You have no subject matter or personal jurisdiction in this matter. Okay. So this is the thing, but in order to establish these things, you got to ride this shit out. What they thought was I was going to be like, oh, and I would be immediately saying, no, whatever you say, I ain't never gonna claim no land no more. That's what they wanted to happen, right? What they thought. They never thought it would be a year later and this damn heifer is still fighting us, right?
See?
They didn't think they were gonna go all the way and attack my house in Georgia from daggone Virginia and actually try to daggone take my house with forged deeds, and I would still be standing and sitting in my house a year later. They didn't think that would be happening, okay? But you have to establish that who you're dealing with, you can't deal with me like this, okay?
Word.
So that's That's all part of this process. So Carrie, Carrie's known. He's been to the so-called plantation that's part of my family history. He went there. He looked at the daggone waterfront. He was like, so y'all had slave cabins on the waterfront? And I was like, oh shit, you're right. That don't make no sense. Slave cabins on the waterfront. You got crabs, crawling up on the bank and all this plenty, walnuts in the trees. Like, this ain't no slave setup. Like, what? But then it all makes sense because it's actually our main village. Like, this is the Powhatan's main village is that Deer Hall plantation where we stood on the banks, and Carrie made sense of it just by sitting up there being Carrie and saying, so y'all had beachfront, waterfront, slave cabins. And I was like, never thought of that. Right.
Yeah.
And the cool part about connecting to the folk like that, you learn those little intricacies. How you say the word?
Intricacies.
You learn those intricacies about your people, which leads to yourself.
Right.
That's the whole cool part about it. Because I was like, damn. I mean, it's better than anything I've seen in any of these cities. It's cold. You can just walk down to the lake and it's cold.
Right.
They living like that.
Right. Right in your backyard. That's what you're looking at every night.
Right. Oh, man.
Cousins, when they saw that, they was like, if I looked at this every night, what that would do to me. Like how that would change my whole energy. But see, it's even more powerful because it's you. It's you and your soil, right? And so it really does reset your whole spirit, your whole soul. So the funny thing is, Carrie was like, yeah, I might be, I think I'm acting. Well, see, I was like, Carrie, damn it, you ain't no damn Academic. Come on now, stop it. So, but as it turns out, he actually is. Like his people do track back to Virginia, and the Lettahatchee, we ended up repatriating his people in Alabama, the Lettahatchee Catawba, right? And so the Lettahatchee Catawba, as it turns out, they was in Virginia too. So it's like, oh man. So it's like, can't deny. I mean, it is what it is. We're all interconnected. That's the way it is.
So like the young lady was saying about her mom being from South Carolina and her father being from Louisiana?
No, both my parents are from Mississippi. So there's several generations where my mother's people are in Mississippi. Then I think it goes back to South Carolina in the late 1900s. Late 1900s goes back to South Carolina, maybe late 1800s or whatever. And some of the cousins I grew up with in Gary, their sister was actually born in South Carolina. So my first cousins are in their 60s and 70s.
Oh, you can get some good information from them.
Yeah, those that are still living. I have on my father's side, my one aunt, she's still on the land in Mississippi. You see what I'm saying? That with the house that my grandfather built, who was born in 2009. So, and then, but I was bathed in a tub in that kitchen that didn't have running water. Yeah, but I'm an 80s baby. So, because my parents and my grandparents had kids for 20-something years.
late in life. Yeah.
You feel me? You know. Yeah, so it's just crazy how I ended up with a lot of the stories and a lot of the the actual history, you know what I'm saying? Because my grandfather didn't pass. My grandparents passed in 1985. I was 4. But my memories start at 18 months old. So I can remember chasing the chickens and stuff down in Mississippi, and the chickens turning on me and everything like that. Like, what I'm tired of you chasing me, little girl.
They're very, they can be violent.
Hmm. Yeah. So, but like you were saying, if we think, that these people just were in one place, and they weren't. They would go back and forth. So, like when I got to doing my genealogy on South Carolina side or whatever, I'm saying, oh, this she in Sherrall here. Oh, she in Savannah here. Oh, she's back. She's in Orangeburg here, and that's how I learned about the Ogeechee River. You feel me? So I'm like, this Ogeechee River is inland, but you want to tell me that Geechee people are people who are on the coast who are African. And I'm like, that, nah. So when you start learning the sounds and stuff, because like you got Tallahassee, right? Then you got the Tallahatchie River that's over in Mississippi.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And you learn like, oh, these the same folk.
Right.
It's just that they saying like sometimes they pronunciate things different. So in Jackson they say what up, Jew, right? But you come to Chicago, you're like, what up, Joe?
Right. Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But then the same people.
Right.
The rivers were
and the words,
the rivers were our highways. And we still have the Natchez Trace.
Right.
You feel me? We had the roadways, and then we had the riverways, and you know what I'm saying, we've been all over this place.
Yeah.
So it's just that a lot of times there's not so much of a connection for folks that's on the East Coast or whatever, and the people that's on the Mississippi or the middle of the map. I'm not finding a whole. Well, I know Phoenix Moon that she traces back to Mississippi or whatever, but a lot of people that's on these platforms and stuff, they are on the Eastern Seaboard, and so sometimes when we say we Choctaw or whatever, people get to thinking about them whitewashed folk who assumed our identity, but my people never left Mississippi. You see what I'm saying?
They didn't. We know, on this platform, we know what folks are talking about. That's for sure. Because we encounter a lot of people all the time. Yeah, and there are a lot of people that are still there that are, like I said, that are still organized, and people that are going back home. They're returning to actually build on the land that was from their families, or reclaim what's in their families. That's a powerful thing. So a lot of that's happening. And even like he's from Chicago. He lives there now.
Who's from Chicago?
Mike Hampton. Hampton's on. He's on a lot of. He's on African Americans and African on Facebook. Like he's on there a lot. He does a lot of Instagram, I think, posts and things like that. And he's the person that introduced me to Carrie. But so he's from Chicago, and he's very much into a lot of indigenous history and has been for a long time. So he's really strong in it. Yeah. So he kind of knows his connection there. And then who else is that? What's her name? Isn't her people? She's in Chicago too. Rebel's in Chicago. Rebel's in Chicago. She does a lot of Instagram posts and Facebook posts, and she knows a lot. I mean, she's been to one of my summits too, but she's she's very much into the information, So there's a lot of them.
So like Lisa was saying a little earlier, when you find out about yourself and who you are, it's a big family. It changes you. Because now you know what road you're traveling on for real.
Yeah. I kind of, growing up in Gary, and which was, a all black city, or black teachers and stuff like that. We got some of the teaching that we were Indian. You get what I'm saying?
Good for y'all.
So, huh?
That's good.
Yeah, and then like I said, you know, I, I grew up with um a lot of older people. You know what I'm saying? My parents were in their 30s when they had me, and that was old back then. And then, but their siblings were in their, like 60s.
Mm,
So,
they were
um,
babies. Uh-huh.
yeah. So,
So that's why
you
your
know,
genealogy goes back really far, really fast.
right.
Mm-hmm. You go
Yeah. So,
straight back to the 1900s real quick.
yeah, my grandfather, who I knew, my
Exactly.
grandmother, my grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
they were all, well, two. My grandfathers was both born in 1909,
Right.
and I knew them. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
My mother's father is the first ancestor who started coming to me, and this was in 2010. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like, um, and it's just like, okay. And so I'm just putting the stuff together. But as far as knowing that I was Indian, that's something that was just, it was just known. It wasn't talked about a whole lot. But
Right.
that's, if you, but I think that's common in our people, period. But
Right. Right.
especially for Mississippi, people with Mississippi roots, they don't talk. They, it was stay in a child's place, and you know, um, you over what you eavesdropping for, going back downstairs with the rest of the children, that type of thing. So, but yeah, I'll be somewhere in the corner listening
Mm-hmm.
to all the stories and put shit together.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Yeah. So yeah, but that's Choctaw. My on both sides of the family, that's Choctaw.
Okay.
My mother's father was Chickasaw, um, and he was a medicine man and a whiskey maker
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of
and a
that.
fish fryer.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll follow you too.
Powerful. It's real powerful when you have parents that your age and having older parents and being able to have grandparents that are in the 1900s. Like that's really powerful because that gives you an insight that is beyond just about all your peers. You know what I mean? It's like because you get to go back way back and actually to have the connection with those grandparents of that age. That's amazing because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people my age don't have that connection with their grandparents. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. That's really that's very powerful.
Thank you. All right. And so both my parents have passed on, and so now I am the matriarch.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? But I have to create a new thing. You know what I'm saying? I had to literally create a new thing, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, fortunately, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, my siblings are against me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been fighting.
Yeah.
We talk about fighting for your home. Yeah, I've been doing that. You
Hmm.
feel me? And so that's why I'm laughing when you talk,
A
because
lot
you
of
don't even know
families rough,
you don't
but
know what I went through today. Today,
family,
okay?
honey, families can be cruel. Let me tell you. When my daddy passed, I had to be on Xanax because of my sister. So I understand. I
That I look.
understand
I was hearing
honey,
you. I was
how
hearing
they
you so
how
clear, girl. It would make no sense.
family can take you there, but then they
Hmm.
can't come out on the other side. I don't even know how I came out on the other side because I sure didn't see myself coming out from none of that because I was like, these people don't like me. They just being terrible to me. They never liked me. Like that's where I was, several years ago. But yeah, and you know what? That's the blessing and malediction of you having the older parents. That's the sad part because they done already passed, right? So
Yeah,
with
both my they gone.
all but also look at how they had their older sisters and brothers, so the uncles don't exist either.
mhm.
So So that's the downfall, because now it's like less resources that are elders. The elders are gone because of them being so much older. So that's an interesting thing. It's a blessing because you are enriched with all that experience and information, but then it's a little bit of malediction because you're like, oh wow, they're all gone. They've all gone over. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's interesting. It's just
But but like y'all was talking about how the ancestors were leading you and stuff. The fact is, they in me.
yes.
I'm
Well,
the
Mhm.
closest.
that's
I
true.
am the closest thing to them in
Right.
this universe.
Yeah.
They
Come
are
on.
They're
in me, and they take over. They
yeah.
take over my being. You hear me?
Yeah, for sure.
And they whisper in my ear.
Hmm.
You feel me?
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they let me know, hey, I don't, cause I ain't studied no whole bunch of law books and stuff like that. But
Right.
they'll send different people or whatever. They'll put a video in my
Right.
timeline. They'll
Right.
give me a word to look up or
Right.
whatever, and I go look it up. They'll give me a vegetable or some shit to look up, and I'm like, what is this for?
Hmm.
Okay, matter of fact, they'll make me, spirit will make me crave certain things, and I'm
Hmm.
like, and I go look
Right.
it up. Why am I craving this? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I got all that healer
Right.
energy in me. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What they call the heyokas and all that other stuff. I
Yeah.
got all that in me,
Yeah. That,
and
that.
all my siblings ain't got the same bloodline.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I was made with a promise.
Right. Right.
You feel me? And people be jealous of that sometimes. You feel me? Because you have that anchoring. But
Well, it's just
some people don't.
it's
Some
just
people don't.
it's
They
just
don't. Let me just come up. Let me just finish though. Some people, I'm talking about, just because you grew up in the same house, right?
mm,
Um, them other siblings, they cared about what the new shoe was. Can I get this? And can I have this doll and money and all this other stuff? But I have a rich heritage that they can never get because I was in the kitchen making peach cobbler. I know how to make the dough my damn self. You get what I'm saying? I know how to make the sauce. You get what I'm saying? I was the one that picked the greens out the garden before mama got home and had dinner ready by the time she got from work in 95, 96. You see what I'm saying? So when they want something, when they want to get back to the soul and
well,
the soul food, they got to come to me.
right. Everybody, even though they may not seem like their gift is evident, everybody I feel has something that is worthy to contribute. Sometimes it's just being. Sometimes it's
Come on now.
just that experience. You know what? And so like my sister, she's like that. She gonna be like, some of these people don't do nothing. They ain't got nothing. They can't do nothing. They don't do nothing. I was like, yo, some people they just need to be. That's their function. Because a lot of my people are in, like I said, they're there posted up on the Eastern Shore dealing with a lot of hell, and they low key
Mm,
smile, they smiling and they dealing with it every day. That's their
yeah.
job. I don't expect anything of them. When the money rolls to the Academic, do they get just like everybody else get, because
Hmm.
their job is just to be, and that's an important job. Okay, so I mean, that's how I look at it. I'm like, everybody got a reason, and it's just a matter of us just acknowledging it or noticing it in the correct way. um I try to give a lot of grace to us, because we got a lot of issues and a lot of damage that we don't really deal with a lot of times, and so we act out in ways that really aren't the best to each other oftentimes. And so I get it. You feel like this whole selfish spirit that some of us have, this kind of little hatefulness that we've developed. We're gonna have to heal from that. We're gonna have to work on ourselves, really, because You can't add money to bullshit. You really can't. You can't do it. So you got to get your mind and stuff right, or you got to have mechanisms to make people, to kind of guide them into doing better. You know what I mean? Before we get to a point where we got resources and stuff to do good things with, we can't add that to a bunch of foul acting people. And we do have foul acting people in our families. That is a fact. That is a fact. And I'm not trying to say that, because we really do. But like, this is the thing. We have to treat it like we're dealing with spoiled, awful children, because we got spoiled, awful children. They may be adults, but they're spoiled, awful children. And a lot of these people need to be re-raised. That's a whole new show. We got to talk about that some other day. Right there. Oh my God. Dealing with these horrible people.
Yeah, like you say, some folks is just, the truth is our value. I say this is Mama Mistism. I ain't here for nobody else. Spirit gave it to me. But my value is in my being, not in my doing. However, in my being, you better leave me be. I'm going to let you be, but you damn sure going to let me be. You hear me? And if you ain't going to let me be, maybe you just don't want to be no more.
Right.
If you won't let me be, maybe you don't want to be no more.
Oh Lord. On that note, I guess we could have called it a night. We at the 3 o'clock hour. 3 hour time. We've been here for 3 hours. But yeah, it's been great. And y'all come join us again. We're gonna get together. When we're gonna do this again, Carrie?
Whenever you say, boss.
I'm about to cook. I want to keep cooking. I want to get out here and let the people talk. So let's do it.
When?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. I hear you.
All right.
I hope I ain't messed up y'all Indian party.
I know we might need to talk about these foul family members. It sound like, I don't know, but yeah.
Lisa, when is your next summit?
What's that?
When is your next summit? You said that,
honey. I have a warrant for my arrest. Okay, like I'm not really kidding. It's not a joke. Like I'm really. So right now, I'm trying to figure. I'm fighting, right, and the people that are behind these charges against me are real estate mogul, is Severin Baldwin, and his ass is being investigated by the IRS. So criminally. So the ancestors boomeranged on your ass. So he's in the middle of a grand jury investigation. So I'm feeling like things are gonna kind of, work themselves out. However, they need to work themselves out. These people are making up these fictitious charges. I have a RICO, I have a whole RICO, civil RICO I filed on these people, these folks. So things are in
I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you for real.
Yeah, things are happening, but at this point they're banning me from going to my homeland, because if I go there, there's this whole warrant for my arrest. So it's what are you doing? Like I have done nothing but filed a quit claim. That is not against the law. Like you are trying to criminalize something that is my right. We have patented land. That is the full title. That is the only true title. You are putting me into a criminal position for claiming what is our protected right. But because you're this little town and you get to act like you're the whole Virginia law, and Virginia is corrupt to the core, that's how you get away with it. But my RICO is in DC. Because I couldn't even choose to do anything in daggone Virginia. That's how corrupt they are.
Wow.
I have a writ of mandamus in Supreme Court of Virginia. They just took that and threw it in the trash. They ain't doing nothing with that. So I mean, they're very corrupt. They're very colluded. But their time is up, because look, y'all are getting older. First of all, your young people are non-existent or don't care. You know what I mean? So who's gonna carry on with all your daggone vicious demonic behavior? You don't have anyone. You have no one. So it's like, how long are you going to be able to keep this up? And you're not as smart as your predecessors. So the people that are out there my age trying to fight me, they're not as smart as their parents. So what are you doing? You're equipped for this.
Right.
Because you're doing, because they're trying to take my house with forged deeds. How are you forging deeds saying that I sold my own house in Colorado? How I'm going to sell my own house to the people in foreclosure? Huh? Sell your own house. And they telling me my address is in Colorado and I live in daggone Atlanta. This is, They made up documents that crazy. So if you're going to be a criminal, be a smart criminal. If you're going to try to take people's stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're going to try to go do some interstate fraud and try to daggone interstate, try to retaliate against me, make sure your criminal shit is together. You know, like, please. They're embarrassing white folks across the world. It's bad. So that's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with judges that are just as crooked. They trying to just dismiss my whole quiet title case on my house so they don't have to adjudicate it. They don't want to look at the forged deeds. They just want to take my house. Just take it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, you think you're going to be able to do that? I'm filing everything on their asses. Now it's in there going, it's in U.S. District Court. It's not even in the county court. So now what, bitch? These niggas don't cover up. They cover up for these damn criminals. That's why I'm like, what's going on? Everybody is corrupt. They all and then they keep our people ignorant. So a lot of people, it's not that they are being, some of them, it is not that they're corrupt. It's just they don't even know. They work in the courthouse, but they don't know nothing about it.
No.
They pushing papers on purpose, right? So they're ignorant, blissfully ignorant. And that's the same thing with attorneys. An attorney may know about this shit, but they don't know about that shit. So they keep attorneys ignorant too. So you think that because they're attorney, they know about what's going on with you. No, they may know about cars and car cases, but they don't know about real estate. Or they may know about custody suits, but they don't know about, tax law. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is so specialized in healthcare and in all these different fields that everybody's ignorant as hell.
Yeah.
As Indians, we got to know a little bit of everything. We got to be the general practitioners
Come on now.
Themselves, okay?
That's why they don't like us on their job, because we outshine. We know everything from end to end.
We do.
I'm curious. I'm curious when y'all birthday, or what sign y'all are.
I'm a Virgo. My birthday's coming.
Oh, I'm an Aquarius. I got a Virgo midheaven.
Yeah, that's like my daddy. My daddy and my grandson are Aquarius. I love Aquarius.
Oh, yeah, I dig it. I fuck with Virgos. My daughter is an Aries, but she's a Virgo rising and Virgo moon.
Okay, see,
she's something else. She gonna be something else.
An Aries that is a Virgo, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I love it.
I have to raise her. She's 22 now.
And my other niece combined. That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
That's why I only got one child. Because when I was a teenager, I said I wanted to have 6 or 7 kids. I wanted to adopt 6 or 7 kids. I messed around and got pregnant one time, and that was it. Because she came out being 6 or 7 kids in one. I said I had a little goy because she did all the girl stuff and she did all the boy stuff. And when she woke up, I didn't get no rest until she fell out, and that was usually at midnight. So you feel me? I'm glad she old now, but yeah, I've been there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm hoping to get from these meetings or calls, gatherings, powwows, is to find somebody that's in Louisiana that I could, like you said, chief up.
I got you somebody because there's a sister that I connected with off of TikTok. And and like I was saying to my daughter today, I said, she need to be chiefed up. What the word is this sister not chiefed up? But I know her because we did connect offline, and then because I went to Canada last year and I connected with our people in Canada. And so when the Indians in Canada, I learned about the Arcadians. I learned about that some of her people are in Canada, right? Some of her, like she's a miller. There are a lot of millers in Canada. So a lot of her people that she can't get genealogy on, they actually in Canada. That's where you don't see them. See what I'm saying? So yeah, I actually do know somebody who's and there's a lot of Louisiana sisters on TikTok that are talking about this information. There's a lot of
Okay, well,
And
let me know.
what was your name? And you ain't got no picture, so no.
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie. I'm Carrie too.
Oh, it's two Carries on here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Mama Mist on all platforms. MAMANYST. So yeah, you can hit me up. But I grew up with some millers, and then, Chicagoland area, it's a lot of Mississippi, Louisiana folk. They right across the river. So, you got a lot of overlap with Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Alabama too. There's a lot of Shatas through there as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So it was lovely talking to you all. Like, let's get together on a regular basis. I think we can, cook up some good information. So
hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified.
Yes.
I'm subscribed to you in the Indigenous one.
And comment when the show's over, because those things count. Like the comments that are in there after the show, not just in the chat. After the show comments are big. That'll build his channel up.
Okay. And Lisa, your channel is Liren?
My identity on most things are Liren, Liren Cypress or Liren, but my channel is Indigenous Accomac.
Indigenous Accomac. Okay. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna subscribe to you on here on YouTube too. And girl, you got a little stalker. I'll be a little stalker. I ain't gonna do no harm. No, I'm here to build, girl. Shit. Us Aquarius, we don't have patience to like stalk for real. Cause one, we're a little high and mighty. Our asses is on our shoulders, as they say. So I'm not a stalker. I get stalkers. You feel me?
We just need to commune. It's time. It's this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right.
Indeed. Pleasure meeting everybody.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow night, you said. So if I don't get out on the streets tomorrow, I'll be here.
If not, Sunday night.
Okay. I'll be looking for y'all.
Okay, I know. Are we ending it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All righty. Cool. Dang.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun, right?
Yeah.
I think we got some damn numbers. I shared it while we were live.
Yeah.
I shared it on Facebook all over in the groups.
Yeah, it got up to 80 today.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got that much, did we? Yeah, that was big. So that's real good on a Thursday night. What?
Yeah, Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yes.
Oh, shit. What I gotta do in the morning?
What do you gotta do in the morning?
I don't know. Something I've done before.
Dang.
Something I've done before.
Your friend Nay, she done cut her hair off again.
Boo.
But it's so funny because I was like against that. I said, I don't understand. You cover up your hair all the time anyway. When you're at work, you never wear it out. So what's the point of cutting it? I don't like nobody getting in my energy field. They be trying to access me with my hair, and I'm not wanting people to have access to me. I'm like, is it your hair, or maybe it's, you know, the room and the items in your room? I don't know. I'm like, sometimes it may not be your hair that is the issue. And it was like, well, I know, I've been talking about this. And so, you know, she got her sister, you know, Am, to do the haircut. Am she did not want to do it. She said it took her so long because she was not trying to cut that damn hair. And so she did it, and it's like, okay, so then I was like, I looked at it and I was like, but I mean, it's cute. I mean, it brings out her cheekbones and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's cute, but I'm just like, it's what she want to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she looks cute. But she said that the guys at work think they kind of turned on by it in a freaky way. I'm like, oh, that's weird.